Back in Black. Book 1, 2, 3, 4. Hands are hard. 5. I liked this one. I think it moved quickly. Like, we didn't spend too much time thinking. Like, no thinky. Too much thinky. Too much thinky. Once it gets going, it's good. Not enough thinky. This one doesn't spend a lot of time thinking, and I think what it does really successfully for me is that it just goes. Like, we are sprinting. The A-List. Back in Black by Zoe D. Anna and her friends decide to blow off the senior class trip to Washington, D.C. and head to Vegas for the glamorous 3-day vacation. They check into the ultra-luxe Palm Hotel, and the wildness begins before they have a chance to unpack their Tough Betty carpet bags. The girls have tacky Vegas fashion contests, and Cammie pulls a stunt that's outrageous, even by Cammie's standard. Then everyone visits a hypnotist to the stars. While they are spellbound, the gang reveals their deepest, darkest secrets and learns firsthand why Vegas is called the City of Sin. So, again, I don't read the back of the book until I'm doing this with you guys. So, like, I didn't know that I was going to know that. As far as, remember it, is that, okay, things that I liked about this story, I feel like we finally get some, like, actual, factual wrap-up on some stuff. I'm going to have to go through this. At the end of Tall Cool One, Anna is feeling, you know, a bit disrespected by her father. No more magnets. Fuck magnets. Feeling disrespected by her father, but even Sam's dad, who bona fidely sucks, can feel this. Now, this is not an Anna story. You might be thinking it should be an Anna story. It's going to be very clear why it's an Anna story. It is not an Anna story. This is the most... Hello. So, Cammie is still with Adam. And they are going strong. Aunt Cammie being mad suspicious. Sus. She is going off and meeting with men that aren't Adam, and she's being very dishonest about it. Everyone's like, Cammie's gonna cheat on Adam because he's such a nice guy. But we must remember Cammie's tragic backstory. Very important to remember. Cammie's got a dead mom that she's constantly thinking about and is wondering if Cammie's mom would still love her if she got to see her growing up. Or is it better that her mom died and thus everyone can always have positive memories of each other? Real tragic. So Cammie goes on, the plot point is like, oh my god, they go to Las Vegas? Yes, they do. Cammie goes off and finds this boy that was whose parents were friends with Cammie's dead mom and dad, who was on the boat the night that she died. I don't know if you remember this. Cammie's mom drowned, Natalie Wood style. And like William Dafoe, we must all ask them, what did you see that night between dead mom and bad dad? So Cammie goes and talks to this kid. He's like, hey man, my parents don't remember anything else about that night. I don't actually even think they were on the boat. So Cammie's like, that's crazy. Cammie also, as the whatchamacallit says, gets hypnotized and then releases some secrets. That's kind of important. We will come back to that. Secret with Cammie. Alright, let's flip this bad bitch over. Sam wants everyone to get along. She has girl crushed her way into a best friendship with Anna, but she still loves her previous friends. Also, the Hummer is here. Titty Bopper has had her baby, and she is now really attached She is really not attached to this baby. Now, I could go into D because D is really attached to this baby. But I'm going to go and inform us of what's happening with Anna. Because next to Cammy, Anna has kind of the most important plot. Even though I wouldn't call her, it wouldn't be an Anna book. Oh my god, my battery's dying. Anna's back. Never wear white. Sin and Scott come to hang in Vegas. Which means Anna now has to really come to terms with her crush on Scott. And she's like, oh my god, I was into him, I was in love with him, and he's flirting with me, but I don't want to hurt my best friend. It's always been about not wanting to hurt her best friend and trying to be a good friend. They go about going through Vegas thinking, and also at the start of the book, Sam's father. Alright, so Anna goes with Sam to the Oscars, and Sam's dad loses again. Womp womp. Sorry, Jackson. He loses, and then while at an Oscar party, Anna runs into Ben's dad and is like, hey, my son Willie wishes you should call him. And Anna's like, why doesn't he call me? And he's like, I don't know about why. I guess his feelings are hurt. And it's just like, okay, alright. So Anna's like, oh my god, should I call him? And Sam's like, if you want to call him, you should call him. And Anna's like, I don't know if I should call him. And Sam's like, I don't care. I just don't want to hear about it every 5 minutes. And she's like, okay. And so she calls him and then hangs up before he answers. And so throughout the rest of the story, she is calling him, and either the phone's going to voicemail or he's not picking up. Boop, 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 boop. You can tell, got wired off the sugar. So the Hummer is born. Jackson has lost the Oscar. And now, let's cover D. D has a psychotic. D actually ends up developing what I believe is postpartum depression and postpartum anxiety to a baby that isn't hers, paired with her own bipolar disorder. She just loses it. So with this known, you can understand what the rest of this plot is. So everyone that interacts with D is like, oh my god, D is crazier than normal this week. Let's see where this goes. So D has been living in Sam's house. Sam is kind of like, she's participating in all of the baby routines, all of the yoga, all the press around the baby. Sam feels a little like I'm being pushed out of my own home and replaced with D, who's prettier, skinnier, and sweeter. God, that feels bad, but, you know, D seems a little stupid, so it's fine. D isn't originally going to go on the trip, and then Sam is like, oh my god, we could really use your positive energy, because Sam really wants all of her friends to go on the trip. So D goes on the trip, but she comes wearing just her yoga outfits, and everyone else is like, we're going to go to the slots once they land in Vegas because through the private jet. She's like, oh my god, I'll meet you guys later, I'm gonna pray or whatever. And everyone's like, cool. She starts hearing Ruby Hummingbird calling to her, and she's like, and she is called to it. She's arguing with homeless people. She's going places because of the call of Ruby Hummingbird. She is calling Poppy back in LA, being like, oh my god, can you put Poppy on the phone? Poppy needs this, that, and the other. And Ruby's like, no, she doesn't, you're fine, and then like puts her on hold and like tells her nannies not to answer the phone. Dee is not well, and Poppy doesn't need her to be doing that. At the midpoint of the book, we really stop hearing about Dee. And then on midnight, after all of the plot happens, she gets institutionalized. And they gotta break her out. Well, they gotta get her out. They don't break her out. She doesn't need to be broken out. She needs to be taken home. But yeah, Dee gets institutionalized. I kind of love that. Like, my opinion on these books can be firmly turned around by the fact that they did the thing I never thought they'd do, especially a book that I believe came out in like 2005, 2006. Institutionalize that girl. She is unwell. She needs help. Help her. That is Dee's plotline. And I forgot about someone who's important. Parker. Do you remember Parker? Parker is Monty's older brother. Monty smart, Parker handsome. Monty, Sam's do boy. I thought we were gonna have more Monty. I like Monty. Monty's around. He doesn't come with them. Because I believe he's a year younger than them. And he's ugly. Parker. The way that first book characterizes Parker is as kind of like an idiot. Who like couldn't possibly get anything done. And can't possibly take care of himself. But Parker is an actor. And he's kind of been like whooshing around socially, these two, in a way where it's like, you know that they're poorer than Sam and Cammy, but you don't know how poor they are. They're very poor. And so Parker goes out to Vegas hoping to glom onto a rich girl, a sad, lonely rich girl, and make her feel special. So he starts out before the trip trying to get Anna. He tries to get Dee. He is unsuccessful. He gets out to Vegas and gets a lotto win, but he can't get it because he's got a fake ID. So he spent his last $20 on that. So he's broke. So he gloms himself on to some hot girls, some hot rich girls, and tries to make it work. I think Parker has the most interesting side quest because his side quest is attached to Sam's, because Sam is missing Eduardo, but she doesn't kind of let it get to her. But you know who's always sweet to her? Parker. And so Parker, she's sweet back. Parker, she finds out that Parker has no money. She pays his tab, makes sure that he's cool, and then if they kind of share something, it's very sweet. It's been the seed planted. I'm Parker Sam Endgame. I think she deserves someone who's as conniving and like jaded by the town as she is. I think that is, oh my god, I think that is the plot as, all the background plot as needed. So they're in Vegas. Bye, Dee. You're no longer a part of the plot, girl. Sin and Scott are there. Anna feels like Scott is flirting with her. Sin is just so happy to see her best friend and interact and be near one another. Anna doesn't want to ruin that. They go off and do things, including going to see a Vegas hypnotist. And the hypnotist gets Anna, Sin, Scott, Cammy, Adam, random girl that Parker was flirting with, puts them up on the stage to hypnotize them and to tell their deepest, darkest fear. Anna, well, not deepest, darkest fear, but deepest, darkest secret. Anna's is that she kind of wants to tear Scott's clothes off. Sin's unimportant. Cammy is that she hates how much of a good guy Adam is. Adam's is that he hates, sometimes he still likes to look at other girls, and that he doesn't love that she's a bitch to him all the time. I don't remember what Scott's was. I think it was that was it that he cheats? I don't know. We'll find out later. And Sam doesn't believe in the hypnotist. So she doesn't get picked. So she watches this. She sees her friends effectively like ruin their lives, supposedly. I didn't think anything that anyone said was that bad, but 27. So she is like, oh my god, no one can know. And then Sin goes and buys the DVD recording of their hypnotism session. And everyone's like, oh my god, we'll watch it, it's a lark. Ha 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 ha. And Sam is like, oh my god, no. Cammy and Adam are a weird tiff because Cammy disappeared for a couple of hours. So they're already not talking. The video is shown. They're all crying. They go and meet up and they're like, oh my god, I am so sorry I said that, I think you're a bitch. And he's like, oh my god, I'm sorry I called you a bitch, but in a different pejorative. Amy and Cammy make up. Anna goes and hides. Scott goes and talks to her and is effectively like, I don't even like you that much, bitch. Sin talks to Anna. Anna apologizes to Sin. Sin's like, I wish you would have told me you liked him. We could have talked about that. We're best friends. You should never keep secrets from me. I never keep secrets from you. So they make up. And then Sin is like, I'm gonna break up with Scott. I don't even like him. I think he thinks he's too good to be with me. Because like Scott's only big like personality trait before this, other than being the object of Anna's affection, is that he only dates ethnically diverse women. So the idea of them being together, they were never gonna last anyway. I mean, they're in high school. None of these people should last. But everyone's chit-chatting and talking and getting it together. And then they get a call and Dee's at the hospital. So they go and they're like, shit, we have to go back early. And Anna's about to leave, and guess who shows up? Ben. Ben shows up and is like, I missed you, girl. I'm never gonna stop missing you, girl. Let's get back together, girl. So they're back together. And they go upstairs into their fancy schmancy hotel room and jump bones. And then they head back to LA to enter the next section of the plot. That was their senior trip, spring break kind of thing. Yeah. Starts with Anna going with Sam to the Oscars, where they run into Ben's weird dad, who's like, that's stupid, my brain's fried, who is like, you should call my son. He misses you. He won't tell you he misses you, but he misses you. But not before. Anna's just like at the Oscars, and this child comes up and is like, oh my god, are you who I think you are? And Sam and Anna are like, I don't think so. And the girl's like, yes you are. Oh my god, is that who I think it is? A screeching voice was loud enough to stand out from the crowd, and it made Anna turn only to realize a young woman with amazingly adenoidal vocal cords seemed to be looking directly at her. Anna looked behind her, but no one stood there. It is her! The screaming girl's friend cried, grabbing the first girl's arm in excitement. Then she snapped Anna's picture. Hey, can we get your photograph? Anna had no idea what to do, but unfortunately the crowd's attention, including that of her two admirers, mistaken as they might be, shifted to a woman alighting from the latest limo. Sandra! Oh yeah. Anna turned to see a glowing brunette step out of the white limousine. Crazy. Anna's just so beautiful and so captivating. She's so beautiful. How could you not think she's a Hollywood star? She's the most beautiful woman to ever exist. Ooh, woo, ooh, woo. We love you. We totally love you. Anna turned to Sam, slightly embarrassed. I have no idea who they think I am. Sam waved at the girls. Me neither. So just smile and wave. And they'll be on to the next. Sam's stepmother just had baby. She had baby. She just had baby plot device, Ruby Hummingbird. And I do remember talking about that because that's really important. Oh my god. Ruby Hummingbird is there. Ruby Hummingbird is not here. She's Earthside, and Poppy is fat now. As most postpartum women should be. You just pushed a person out of you, and all the nutrients that come with that. So, like, Sin, Anna's friend Cynthia, is hot and sexy, and that's who Anna wants to emulate. And just as a reminder about who Sin is, in fact, Anna was tempted to open her Nokia cell phone right then and call her best friend in New York City, Cynthia Beltras. Not long ago, she decided that Sam would adore Sin, who was an over-the-top kind of girl with a great sense of the absurd. Sin loved wild and crazy antics at scenes like this one. In fact, conservative Anna had been known to live vicariously through Sin, who was willing to test life's limit. They share a boy crush, Scott, and we move on to Anna's feelings about Ben. She had other boyfriends since Ben, but somehow she kept thinking about him, coming back to him. Or maybe it was only because he'd been her first, or maybe it was more. Let's get out the chart. Let's get out the charts. I'm gonna put my phone away and we'll get out the charts. And this is just the ones that you've met so far. Like, is there not a person who cannot be attracted to Anna? Everyone else gets a more consistent... Anna is just so attractive. Everyone must throw themselves at her. And yet she keeps running back to this psychopath who has slept with every one of her friends except for Sam. She didn't sleep with Sam technically. Do a dotted line for that. And then the women of Princeton. That is something for you to keep on the board until we come back. But she's so wooed about Ben. We were bad together. We were toxic. The first 3 books aren't even real to me anymore. Like, they aren't even real. But they're broken up right now. I'm gonna tell you right now that Back in Black and Girls on Film had the same relationship arc. They are like mapped onto each other. Same relationship arc. Anna herself has a different arc, but their relationship takes the same arc. Sam is like, oh my god, have you talked to him? And he's like, no. So, they're going to these various parties. Marilyn Haskell, not Marissa Hargitay. Anna is deemed the new Hollywood it girl. This plot point goes nowhere. People take photos of her. She's so glamorous. Sam squeezed Anna's arm with her own in gratitude. Sam Sharp, someone yelled. Maria Haskell for inside access. Sam has arrived with Hollywood's newest it girl. It girl? Anna thought. A young woman in her 20s made a beeline for them, a camera crew in tow. Her red hair had been flat ironed into submission. As Sam steeled herself, Anna hung back. For one thing, she had zero interest in being interviewed, either as herself or whoever people kept mistaking her for. For another, she didn't want to steal Sam's thunder. This is the daughter of Jackson Sharp, the great one, himself, who's been nominated once again for Best Actor, Marilyn gushed. Sam, that dress is smoking. Who is it? De La Renta, Sam replied as the red light of the television camera glinted off her face. Anna watched her friend smile hugely. What about you, Marilyn? BB. And the bling was made by my younger sister in Oregon. Hey, looks like you took off a few pounds since that Vanity Fair article a few months ago. Marilyn continued to gush in the same over-the-top tone. That's fantastic. She looked over to Anna. So I noticed you two were arm in arm on your way to the carpet. Anna poked her microphone towards Anna. So were you two, like, together? Because you certainly look like you're together. I don't know, Anna responded innocently. Are you? Anna looked back and forth between Marilyn and one of the camera crewmen. Marilyn's smile grew forced. You're the one being interviewed. Why do you say that? Are you embarrassed by the nature of your relationship? Anna asked. Marilyn frantically looked past Anna and bellowed, Kristen Dunst! Hey, look over there, Kristen! As the reporter scuttled away, Sam and Anna pulled down the carpet. laughing so hard she had to gasp for air. That was priceless. My mother always told me if someone asks you an incredibly rude question, instead of answering, ask them in return. Remember. Anna laughed. Right there. That's me. They'd finally reached the security tent and stepped inside and showed their credentials. They'd be sitting 2 levels up near the front. With luck, they'd be able to see Jackson make his way to the stage. To her surprise, Anna felt her heart start to race with excitement. She hadn't figured that Oscar night, afternoon, evening, whatever, would have the kind of effect on her. But it was the crowd and the anticipation. Even the reporters like Marilyn had conspired to hijack her emotions. She grinned spontaneously because she understood what was going on. She was having fun. Make out in an airplane lavatory with the guy you just met on the airplane? Check. Have sex for the first time? Check. Attend the Academy Awards with the daughter of a superstar? Check. Perhaps it wasn't quite personally dazzling or life-altering to have sex for the first time thing, but Anna could not deny that attending the Oscars with the daughter of Jaskin Sharp was well outside of the well-bred East Coast box, and the outside of that box was exactly where she wanted to be. The book loves to play my fucking face about shipping these two together. Make them kiss. Mwah! They are so cute, and the universe of this book seems determined to ship them together, whether they like it or not. Parker's there, hustling. He's got an acting gig, and I believe he is also there to wait tables. Parker tries to cajole Anna and Sam into making sure that they are attending the spring break trip. That is not going to be the Washington D.C. trip, but a trip to Vegas, the Vegas trip. The plane to Washington leaves without us. We hop on my father's jet and we party. Sam went on, her eyes glued to the stage where a couple of sound engineers were doing a final check. An hour later, we're in Sin City. Like Sam said, it's a tradition, except for the jet, of course. Usually we drive over it. It's a straight shot across the desert and there aren't a lot of cops. The lights in the auditorium blinked on and off, an indicator that it's 10 minutes to showtime. I got a book. He leaned towards Anna, soulfully into her eyes. So, are you coming with us, right? I'm not sure. Anna's not sure for a while. It's kind of annoying. Assume that anytime Anna's talking to anyone for the next little bit, she's also loudly, internally waffling with the idea of skipping out on her school's planned trip to go to Sin City. Finally, we are back at the part where we meet Dr. Birnbaum, Herbin Birnbaum, and he's like, hey, yo, please, they're all in the star. The star. Come on, Dr. Birnbaum, Sam chided. The truth is, you did half the faces and boobs in here, and you wanted to see how they looked in comparison to one another. Dr. Birnbaum wagged a finger and turned and said, don't discuss my clientele. Please. They're all in the star, Sam kidded. Knife to the stars. Blech. Knife styles of the rich and famous. You ought to autograph your work. A little Dr. B tattoo on a well-lifted butt. Everyone will want one. Funny girl. Where's your wife? She never comes to these things. He touched Anna's arm. Anna dear, could I speak with you for a moment? Privately? Anna was slightly taken aback. She never had a one-on-one with Ben's father before. What was this about? You have good taste, Dr. Birnbaum said, observed to Anna. Sam Sharp was always the brightest of my son's friends. I'm glad I ran into you. Ben sends his regards. Anna was confused. How do you know I'd run into you? You're right, he didn't. But whenever we talk on the phone, he asks if I've seen you. You look fabulous tonight, Tom. He then turned back to Anna. My son told me recently that he shared with you some of my past challenges. The gambling, Anna thought, and the lying, and Dr. Birnbaum nearly killing himself in a hotel room because he was so deeply in debt. Yes, he did. Dr. Birnbaum pursed his lips. I'm glad he did, actually. Much as it pains me to say so, I've been in Gamblers Anonymous for 3 months. I'm committed to my life of total honesty as discussed in what I'd like to call their big book. Anna went for a polite smile. She was happy that Ben's father was getting his act together, but she didn't understand why his life of total honesty meant he had to share this information with her. It wasn't like they were friends. You think this is oversharing, me telling you all this, especially in public. I see it in your face, but the thing is, he moved closer, his voice dripping. Confidentially, I've never seen Ben this hung up on a girl as he is with you. Anna corrected. Dr. Birnbaum shook his head. still is Anna. I know my kid still, Anna's heart leapfrogged. So yeah, finally, we've gotten there. So they separate. Hey, Sam beckoned smoothly as she appeared in front of Anna holding 2 drinks. She gave one to Anna and tugged her out of line. Vodka tonics, drink up. I've heard your father got robbed 10 times in the past 10 minutes. It's crap though. This is a schadenfreude town. It's not enough that these people should succeed. Everyone else should fail. So what did Dr. Nosejob want? He wants me to call Ben at Princeton. Anna took a sip of her cocktail. The conversation with Dr. Bierenbaum had put her brain into overdrive. Again, why doesn't Ben just call you? That's exactly what I asked him. And he said I need to make the first move. Whatever, Sam responded dismissively. The question is, do you want to call Ben? I miss him. So take out your cell phone and call him. What's the big fucking deal? Anna sighed. What was the big fucking deal? I just want to be sure. Like, that's ever gonna happen. You're the most look before you leap chick I've ever known. I know, I hate that about myself. But what if his father's wrong? What if Ben is completely lost interest in me? Oh, baby. Eduardo is going to join them in Vegas. Sam will probably have sex with him there. Next stop, Cammy has appeared. Chauffeur has not appeared. They're at another party. Club, another club. Next day, good morning, students. For whatever reason, it is important for us to know that the Beverly Hills High School got a new principal, and she's breast boobedly, and no one can take her seriously because of her big fake boobies and her plastic surgery face. Dee has finally joined the plot. Dee is in the beginning stages of religious psychosis. The girl is unwell, and I know this, and we the reader know this, but I have a fully functioning brain, and the kitties just don't. Dee seemed almost doll-like, except for her clothes, which were standard issue Beverly Hills High School, sexy without trying to be. Blue habitual jeans and tiny white tank top from Emergy, and a plain white men's dress shirt from Brooks Brothers with only one button. The shirt was for the principal's benefit only. She really shouldn't wear blue, Dee mused in her plaintive little girl voice. I mean, her aura's so kind of her aurora is kind of puke green and clashes. Do you think I should tell her, Anna? I don't know, Dee, Anna replied, trying not to betray how increasingly odd she found Dee to be. I can't see her aura. Last week at the Kabbalah Center, a rabbi told a story about how the great sage Heil was asked to explain the same thing. He said that it was hateful to you. Stop! Cammy waved a hand at Dee immediately. Shut up. And Dee immediately shut up. I can tell you what is hateful to me. What's hateful to me is that you actually wanted to answer my... These children are not afraid enough of losing their scholarships, their scholarships, and early acceptances into places. Y'all gotta have a bit more fear of everything. Anna tries to go to Washington. Parker's like, no you ain't. Everyone's like, no you ain't. Sam leaves and Dee is grounding herself. Dee, we're not dating. We're not even close to dating. Right, Parker? Right, Sam answered for Parker. Save it for your call back, okay? Anna, you ready to book? We can go get Roblox juice and be back in time for second period. I think I'll stay. Suit yourself. I'll bring you back a smoothie. Sam edged out of her seat and headed for the rear doors of the theater. As soon as Sam was gone, Parker switched seats to slide in between Dee and Anna. I'll stay too. I don't want you to be here alone. Dee pinched herself. I'm real. As in existing in this moment of time and space. I matter. She shook her head. I mean, I am matter. Fortunately, Principal Manning began her spiel about the Washington trip. I'm sorry I can't be your roommate on the Washington trip, Anna, Dee chirped as she and Parker walked with Anna across the central quad, heading for their second period American history class. I can't go, and I'm not going to Vegas either. Really? Anna told her. She'd been sure that Dee would be a part of the Las Vegas contingency. How come? And why were you taking such careful notes in there if you weren't going? Dee tore the pages out of her zebra spiral notebook and handed them to Anna. I did it for you. Wow, talk about thoughtful. Parker wrapped an arm around Dee's slender shoulders. I'm not really into having sex right now, Parker. Dee warned him. My body's attacked. Parker removed his arm and looked confused. Who said anything about sex? You put your arm around me. That means you entered my personal space. Right now, I'm at a celibate life stage. Sort of like the essence around the time of Heil. Do you know anything about the Dead Sea Scrolls? Parker stopped and peered at her. Are you, like, medicated? No. All illnesses is in the brain. We create our own reality, and I've chosen to create the perfect health. Oh, and virginity. Excuse me. She drifts off. Parker attempts to get Anna to flirt with him because, as I think I discussed in the other part that I filmed, Parker's broke, like no joke. So he just does not have the money, but he wants to appear like he has the money to be around his friends. The easiest way to do that is sugar baby about. I feel like sugaring in your own nest is a recipe for getting E. coli, but you know what? He's got to get it where he can get it, and he tries to get it from Anna, and Anna is just not in the mood to have casual sex with anyone, including her own ex-boyfriend. Anna opines about Scott, and then Sin calls Anna. We're hearing a lot of Sin, and it turns out throughout every book of this, Anna is still talking to Sin. But Sin, apparently through all these books, these other 5 or 6 books, Sin and Anna are in constant conversation, which I love. I love friendship. I love friendship. I love female friendships. I think it's the most important thing a girl can have is a confidant. So love them together. Anna tells Sin about Vegas, and Vegas is like, oh my god, you should go. Oh, you know, Sin responded vaguely, hey, listen, girl, I'm proud of you. Why? Because you did something that's interesting and fun instead of the same old shit. I don't suppose you made out with any superstars in the lobby. Anna laughed. That would be you, not me. God, you're just so hard to corrupt. So what other West Coast shit are you up to? Anna grinned. Sin was calling her cool. Like, what's the most decadent thing you've done so far? Sin prompted. Nothing truly decadent came to Anna's mind. She, however, did want to impress Sin, so she opened her mouth and the words came out. I'm going to Vegas, where I plan to indulge in many of the 7 deadly sins. Sweet, Sin cried. When? Tomorrow. With who? Friends. Sam and some others. Anna tried to sound nonchalant, but realized how tightly she was grasping the phone. This was so unlike her to decide something on the spur of the moment. We're leaving tomorrow. You have to stay at the Palms, Sin agreed. It's where they film all those poker shows on TV. I don't play poker. Anna heard the bell ring and second period had started. She knew she'd be late, which is fine, but she didn't want to be ridiculously late. It doesn't matter. All the stars stay at the Palm. It rocks. Anna waited for Sin to finish her sentence and then realized the line was dead. She checked out her cell. No juice. Well, she'd just call Sin later and apologize. At least her mind was made up about where she'd go. Viva Las Vegas. Steadily to the Sins. It could work. This is filmed the day after the Megan Thee Stallion Coachella performance. And we were watching, and she does the bit, she does the Savage intro stuff, and I realized I don't even remember what the dance was anymore. So I said that to Miriam when I was watching it with it. I was like, I don't even remember what the dance was about. I just know my friends would post it, and you know, they would be in scissors, and it cracked Miriam up. And I don't speak well. This is why this is a hobby. Sam has some more dysmorphia problems, body dysmorphia. She talks about Edward and long distance. Eduardo is going to be a part of our plot coming up because he is getting a summer job at the Peruvian consulate. Sam's heart soared when she thought about Eduardo. What was amazing that they hadn't made love. They had kissed. Those kisses had left her breathless. But when she intimidated on the day before he had to depart for Paris that she was more than willing to come to his suite at his hotel, he declined with a graciousness that Sam had never experienced before with a guy. He didn't want hit-and-run sex. He had said, did she understand? And she had. She reveled in his touch. She was in love. Now, I'm going to let you know right here, right now, I'm a Sam and Parker truther. I don't like when they just drop them into the plot to be a part of things. Do I think you should sugar in your nest? No. Do I think that our main character should just be throwing ass at anything that walks into the plot? No, either. Boo. Poppy Sinclair has popped out her baby Ruby Hummingbird, and Dee is in the midst of some sexy postpartum depression about this baby that is not hers. From the outside, Sam is like, I do not understand why Dee is so obsessed with the Hummer. The Hummer being her less than flattering nickname for the baby. They've got a goddamn... But no, the Hummer was everywhere. At age 6 weeks, she already had an entourage, a day nurse, a night nurse, a wet nurse, and all the baby Einstein CDs that a 6-week-old could handle. Plus the media, which had discovered that America and... which had discovered that America and the world had an insatiable appetite for the stories about older action movie stars, his child bride, and their baby with the cute name. Suffice to say, it was that every coo, gurgle, and crappy diaper produced by the Hummer had been broadcast 24/7 on Inside Access and chronicled in People since she had arrived courtesy of Cedars-Sinai Maternity Ward and a midwife flown in from the farm and commune in Somerton, Tennessee. There's a yoga retreat happening in her house with all these young mothers. The room was crowded. The room was crowded with coiffed mothers, all of them young, beautiful, and skinny, or at least their perfectly applied cosmetics and professional plastic surgery made them look that way. All wore some variation on the upscale hip yoga wear look du jour. Zen Nation, black or gray pants and plain white t-shirts over sports bras. Sam found the whole thing kind of, well, she knew that Svetlana would describe the uniformity of the uniform as unintentionally Bolshevik. The couches had been moved so that the 6 new mothers could sit in lotus position on their rattan rugs on the floor. Surrounding them were bright photographer's lights and the in-style camera crew. Hi, Sam. Sam turned. There was Dee, wearing one of the same Zen Nation black pants, plain white tee combinations as the new mothers. Dee had met Sam's stepmother at Kabbalah Center in February. They become good friends, and then Poppy had asked Dee to stay with the Sharps while Dee's parents were on a business trip back east. Dee's father was a famous music producer. Her mother had accompanied him to try and head off one of the business trip liaisons that she feared was threatening their marriage. That business trip had extended, and Dee had never gone back home. In fact, Dee's parents were now in Europe. Meanwhile, Dee and Poppy were now bonded like sisters, though Sam sometimes wondered whether her friend was getting more attached to the new baby than her mother. So in front of all of the inside style edition access photographers intensity in a certain way, Sam found it soothing and beautiful. In every other way, she found it absolutely bizarre that her friend should be leading it. The only one in the circle who didn't have a child was the most bizarre of all. Yet the mothers seemed to have no objection. On the contrary, they were getting into it. Then Dee spoke, her eyes still closed. I am eternal bliss. I am eternal happiness. I am eternal bliss. I am eternal happiness. The women echoed, their eyes closed as well. I'm at one with my baby. We are at peace together. I am at one with my baby. We are at peace together, the women responded. Sam rolled her eyes at this picture of Dee leading a meditation circle. Dee honestly probably couldn't even spell meditation. They had mentally relented. Her friendship with Dee had never been based on intellect. She had bet other friends like Anna for that. Instead, at least before she'd become the poster girl for Jewish mysticism, Dee was sincere, sweet, and loyal. She'd stood by Sam through thick and well thicker. Sam had never come with a striking distance of thin. Sam saw one of Poppy's eyes open. Sam! Her mother waddled. Come join us! I'll pack. Dee, are you packed? We're leaving for Vegas really soon. Dee knew she was exaggerating for effect, but she also knew Dee was one of the world's greatest procrastinators, and that she got her friend to change her mind about the Vegas trip had been a minor miracle within itself. Dee fixed her cornflower blue eyes on her dear friend. I don't need clothes. What I'm wearing is fine. For 4 days? I'll wash my things out and hang them over the tub, Dee replied, a serene expression on her face. When there is an inner piece and the outer trappings are so unimportant, she turned and smiled at the camera. God, Dee was actually playing to camera. How nauseating. Dee, this is Vegas we were talking about. It's all about outer traffic. Sam tries to give Dee a pep talk to get her to kind of pep the fuck back up into being normal, sane. But all it kind of accomplishes is getting Dee to come to, whatchamacallit, to come to Vegas. To change the minds of those who are lost. I've run out of tabs, so fuck it, we ball. So now, as we prep for the flight, Cammy and Adam arrive. Cammy's still doing the sex thing. So, Parker is broke, as we know. So, Parker Pinelli was a man with a plan. Get in with the innest of Beverly Hills high, hip crowd, use protective coloration. That would be his 6 foot tall with 6-packs James Dean-esque good looks to swim with the sharks and ride the wave all the way to superstardom and onto the silver screen. The problem was, Parker came from a long line of bottom feeders. His mother, Patty, who had no education and had come from even less money, had been an exotic dancer while waiting for her big break. It had come in the form of Bruno Pinelli, owner of the Jet Strip Club in North Hollywood, where Patty danced. Bruno had used his connections to get her cast in an R-rated straight-to-video piece called Posers, in which her major responsibility had been to take off whatever top she was wearing at regular intervals. That had been the beginning and end of Patty's big career as an actress. 4 years and 2 sons later, Patty divorced Bruno, or as so she fondly called him, that son of a bitch, and moved on. Ann had been scraping by as a dancer. The older she got, the further the clubs were from home, or waitress renting whatever crappy makeshift apartment she could afford that put her sons on the tattered edges of the 90210 zip code. Her sons would go to school in Beverly Hills and hobnob with the best. Patty had stubbornly decided they'd have access. Access would lead to success. Her ex, who told her once that when he was drunk that she had a saggy ass, could kiss her tush and rot in hell. Her big dream was to be Parker's escort to the Oscars, to walk the red carpet with the whole world watching, and especially with Bruno watching. She repeated this dream often to her son, the way other parents repeated the golden rule. I'm thinking about this because, spoiler alert, at the point that I'm filming this, I have read all of the main series of the A-list, and I wanted to get a little bit of something under my belt writing my final thoughts on the series before I started the sequel series. And now that I'm done, where the fuck did Monty go? I'm telling, like, at the end of the first book, Monty has this whole thing about how he was gonna rule them all and that his brother was an idiot. They literally rolled Parker and Monty into the same character and fucking banished Monty to the Shadow Realm. So, Monty has aspirations. Monty has dreams of being a handsome star. Like, people think he's stupid. His brother thought he was stupid. They really did roll Monty and Parker into the same characters. So, like, frankly, I can't even be like, everyone thought he was stupid. No. He wasn't a character before. So they're heading to Vegas and he is alone. It didn't hurt to be the only unattached guy on this outing. Vegas meant gambling and drinking. Gambling and drinking meant lowered inhibitions. With lowered inhibitions, who knows what could happen. It wasn't that he was necessarily interested in sex, though he certainly wasn't morally opposed. But 2 of those 4 babes had fabulous industry connections, and Anna Percy had to know a ton of people too. And connections, after all, were where it was all about. Parker has a dream, and he's going to gigolo his way into stardom. And I respect that. We respect sex workers in this house. And I think Parker's over the age of 18, so it's like mostly fine to refer to him as that. Oh, we in a section tonight, gang gang. Are we going out tonight, gang gang? That's just what's been playing on in my head for a while. Oh, we're in a session tonight, gang gang. We're going out tonight, gang gang. Oh my god, this song is so late, congratulations. Now you'll be like, gang. Gang, 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 gang. Gnarly. Gnarly? Everything's gnarly. Nah. Gnarly. Nah. Gnarly. Everything's gnarly. You've gathered it. I'm a hottie hottie, and like a bag of Takis. I'm the shit. The shit. Making beats for a boring dumb bitch. Fucking gnarly. Don't talk to me. You're gnarly. I'm not. Jealous of my mansion? Yeah, the view. It's fucking gnarly. That's so dumb. He closed his eyes. Parker was sure that no one would suspect he was deep in thought. Doubtful any of them would even consider the possibility, since none of them considered him a deep thinker. They all saw Richard Gere in American Gigolo, when he was really Richard Gere and an officer and a gentleman. Of course, that was if they had seen those pictures. Parker was reasonably confident that Sam had sense. She was obviously the smartest of the bunch, except for the chick from New York. As for the others, who knew? I shan't make and delete this, but I must say it. I am coming out as a Sam and Parker truther. That is who I ship. So, this book is a Parker book. I think The A-List is an Anna book. Girls on Film is an ensemble book. Because you're setting everyone up. Anna book. Anna and Ben book. Tall Cool One is a Sam book. This is a Parker book. This is a Cami book. This is a Sam book. Yes, this is a Sam book. This is an Anna book. This is definitely a Cami book. And then this is actually a Cami. This is actually a Anna and Sam book. Cami is also there. Beautiful Stranger could also be an ensemble book. But this is not an ensemble book. We do not. We do not. So this is a Parker book, so we hear a lot of Parker's point of view, and we get to learn a lot about Parker. And so I'm reading a lot about Parker, because I think he's a really interesting character. I really like Parker. He's in my top. Parker's mom is addicted to shopping on the QVC, and she's often just shopping. The new drug gave his mother insomnia, chronic insomnia. One particular night when she couldn't sleep, she discovered the joys of shopping via TV. Now it was a nightly ritual. She'd get home from her cocktail waitress job at the Sheraton by the airport, turn on the television, chain smoking and watching until 3 or 4 in the morning. It wasn't a rare thing for Parker to awaken for school to find his mother snoring on their threadbare Sears tan and black tweed couch, the remote still in hand, the plastic hotel ashtray she had pilfered brimming with Mirror ultra-light cigarette butts. And the thing she brought she kept a messy hand-scrawled list on the battered coffee table: European-inspired Amadeus, fine linens, Tiffany-inspired limited edition lamps, Polish-inspired functional ceramic cookware, even though she didn't cook and the family lived largely on deli counter takeout from Ralph's supermarket. How could she afford all this stuff? He wasn't sure, but the boxes arrived by UPS, sometimes on the daily basis, and the goods stacked up in her closet, even squeezing out her limited wardrobe. So Parker is here on this trip, and we have established Parker is broke. Dead broke. Super duper dead broke. And Parker has no money. He brought $93, and that's all he's got. And he's hoping to hit the jackpot in Vegas. As a Parker shipper, I still think it's shitty. I think he's shitty. I don't want a learn to love you. He pops some champagne. Enough champagne to fill the Nile. Sam handed him her champagne flute to Parker. I'm going back to my seat. Drink up. You look like you could use it. He grinned. Fair enough. It was good champagne. He should have swallowed his distaste and tried to hook up with Sam long ago. With her on his arm, he'd have access to everything. And she wasn't all that bad looking either. But now she had some South American boyfriend whom she talked about in every third sentence. So back in the Anna plot is that Sam has called Ben for her to be like, ooh, get back together with him, because everyone is trying to get these two fuckers back together, I guess. She decides, Anna calls Ben, I'm calling you from Sam's father's jet. Now, great, she sounded like she was booming over a public address system. She made another vocal adjustment. We're on our way to Las Vegas, and it's the senior class trip. Then she remembered, of course he knew that. He had gone the year before. I saw your father at the Academy Awards. He looked really good, and he said you were doing well. I'm happy about that, and I'll be in Las Vegas until Friday. Maybe we can talk when I get home. Wah, wah. Loser. Loser. Maybe she could add, I think about you a lot, or how about you come to Vegas and ravish me? Here's where Parker fucks up. I told you he had $92. No, he doesn't, not anymore. Parker decides to gamble it away, and it's so cool, and he wins a lot of money. And then you're like, oh my god, this is great for Parker. And it's like, oh my god, congratulations, Parker. You won so much money. Well, Parker is still under the age of 18. Actually, I think you have to be 21 to gamble. So he does not succeed. Here you go. The woman studied it, identified him as Parker Pinelli of Beverly Hills, California, but gave his age as 22. Then she looked up at Parker, who was deliberately rubbing his hands together. He thought that probably what some guys who just about to collect 20 grand might do. She shook her head. Sorry. What does that mean? Your ID is fraudulent, young man. No, it's not. That's my friend's. He's totally 21, Sam insisted, shoving it next to Parker. Uh-huh. Cammy agreed, mindlessly flipping through a copy of Vegas Today, a magazine that had been on the counter. According to Nevada gambling law, unless you can produce a genuine identification attesting to your age, it is my obligation to deny your payout. A violation is a potential felony for me. Not that you ever gave that a second thought. But it's legit, Parker insisted. He managed to keep his voice even, though he thought his insides were tied in knots. This bitch was going to pay him. But she isn't, and she doesn't. He now is not only not winning that money, he also owes a $60 fine to the state of Nevada. Pay that within 60 days. Aw, Parker. Parker. Parker the Plot. Parker, my guy, the Plot. He's gotta hustle. He's gotta find a lonely lady, lavish her in all of his attention, and make sure she pays at the end of the night. But she gives him the ID back, so that's cool. He still has the ID. Cammy slipped on her new pink baby studded glasses. At least it was only $20,000, she said philosophically. I mean, it's not like you want any really big money. Now, can we get out of this damn airport? As Cammy led the group to where their hired limo was waiting, Parker tried to process the insane events of the last 15 minutes. He had won and then lost $20,000. He had a couple of crumpled dollar bills left in his wallet, a $100 ticket for illegally gambling in his pocket, and a pricey week ahead with no way to pay for it. The whole situation could be summed up in 4 words. He was so fucked. So now, Cammy, they're leaving the resort. It is now time for the plot to commence. Her and Adam are so hot for each other. Woo. He brings out the best in her. Woo. Only one problem. Nice and Cammy Shepherd weren't often used in the same sentence. She liked Adam, maybe even loved Adam, but lately she began to feel like she was in a sugar shock. There was no doubt in Cammy's long career with the opposite sex that a boy had ever been so wonderful to her. True. Some might have even been better in bed. Adam had been a virgin until Cammy had relieved him of that burden. Or richer, or all around sexier, but none of them had a genuine character, his depth, his sensitivity. God. She wanted to gag all over again. Adam was definitively a good guy. She was proverbially a bad girl, and the truth was, bad boys were just so much more juicier. So, this starts the arc of Cammy just provincially trying to capsize this relationship. Always, all the time. Can't stop. So they're all getting overstimmed on the strip. So they see these strumpety little girls, young women, wondering, oh my god, that was a bad toss. Okay, so they go past the strip shop, which is like, I gotta understand, what the fuck was up with later Gen X and early millennials with dressing up in stripper garb to go do normal shit. I say that like I do not come from the era of the poster girl dress. So maybe I need to keep that one up to myself. Everyone's just obsessed with sex workers. Sex workers are great. Style icons. Well, they decide that they're going to do a competition in which they dress up in the trashiest garb and then go to a bar. And when they go to that bar is actually doing a night of of showgirl outfits, I should say. And so they're like, oh my god, you should enter. And Kimmy's like, you gather where we're going. We should have a tacky Vegas fashion contest. You up for it? She raised one golden eyebrow that had been arched to perfection at Valerie's on Rodeo Drive. Ha! Take that, she thought. If little Miss East Coast Big Inheritance bows out on the grounds that it's beneath her station or something. Count me in, Anna said easily. This was the thing about Anna that bit Cammy's peach-shaped butt. Just when Cammy was most confident, Anna would slide right off whatever little psychological hook Cammy was trying to impale her on. Bitch. Adam waved his hand. Count me out. I'm with you, my man. Parker gave Adam a fist bump. I was thinking females only, Cammy clarified. The sight of you two in leather corsets is deeply scary. Deep? Tacky Vegas clothes? I don't think my rabbi would want me to wear stuff like that. Your rabbi isn't here, Dee, Cammy pointed out. Oh, he knows everything. He doesn't have to physically be there. Also, I read in this brochure that there is a past life regression yoga at the Venetian, and I'd like to check that out. Kimmy moved her hand. Check away, Dee. You're on your own. If you think your rabbi would approve. As far as Cammy was concerned, Dee was getting loonier and loonier by the nanosection. Better for her not to participate. Hey, here's an idea. The guy should pick the winner. Oh yeah, Adam agreed. And the prize. As long as the prize isn't either one of you, Sam joked. Dee nodded earnestly. Because that would mean you weren't being true to Eduardo. I guess you could just not tell him. Do you think it's cheating if you do it? Dee mused. I think it's still cheating. Cammy narrowed her eyes. How many little D's in there are you having a conversation with right now? Do your worst, gentlemen, Anna challenged. Anna's voice grated on Cammy's ears. It sounded so old Hollywood, like from those black and white 1930s to 1940s movies her dad used to make her watch with him when she was a kid, under the guise of preparation for her business that he wanted her to enter. Greg Garson and Miss Miniver, Kate Hepburn and the African Queen. We can go clothes shopping together right after we check in, Sam suggested to Anna. We just have to find the tackiest place in town. Want to come with us, Cammy? Double bitch. Like Anna really wanted Cammy to come along. Oh, I'll just cruise on my own. May the best woman win. And that was so going to be her. And then Cammy goes off on a little side quest about a man not named Adam. Ooh, shock, ah. Ooh, ah. Okay, so they're staying at the Palms. And the Palms sells sex. This whole place sells sex. They wander around their hotel. They checked out Rain. It wasn't open yet. Neither was Little Buddha. The Chi-Chi Chinese restaurant, most people seemed to be eating at, either the Mexican joint, the coffee shop, or an ubiquitous buffet. Sam shuddered. Who knew how long that curried shrimp had been dying a slow death on the buffet steam table. Directly across from the eating areas was a bank of small boutiques that had opened directly into the lobby. The biggest one was called Stuff. One window mannequin wore a flouncy black lace miniskirt lined with pink tulle and a black t-shirt that read, I don't do roadie. They come across another gambling opportunity themed after Parker's namesake and actor type, James Dean. Oh, right, Dee said, but I thought it was just since it's James Dean. Hey, I've got a great idea. We can set up a seance, and you can ask James Dean when the security guards won't check. Then you can come down and play and probably win big. Sam was more than a little afraid that Dee wasn't kidding. So everyone gets into their hotel rooms and Anna and Sam go off looking for their trashy clothing. Anna is so disconnected from pop culture that she doesn't know who Alicia Keys is. A female voice that Anna didn't recognize filled the limo with soulful sound. You know what? Sam said. I love that she's not so skinny. Who? Alicia Keys on the CD. What are you talking about? She's not a twig, but she still looks totally hot. I could never. Anna regarded Sam dubiously. Has it ever occurred to you that you're obsessed with your weight? Gee, you think? Sam shot back. For a moment, Anna couldn't figure out why Sam was being so nasty. Then she realized it had to be Cammie's tacky Vegas outfit contest. The idea of competing with Cammie in any kind of appearance-based contest had to be stirring up every last one of Sam's insecurities. Duh. They head to this place. They called it Feelings USA. It's in a shitty strip mall, which you know they love to go slum it about. A Las Vegas radio station blared Green Day from its loudspeakers. Anna scanned the aisles. There was a rack upon rack of shiny, cheap women's clothing that gave a new meaning to the word tacky, not a single natural fiber. A good A-list book has a dress-up sequence. I'm collecting all the things that a good A-list book has, but a good A-list book always has a dress-up sequence. Anna couldn't help herself. What a salesperson would sort of possibly be reading? She cocked her head and took a look at the spine, collected poems of Sir Walter. So Anna's like, oh my god, a kindred soul. Let me talk to this girl. And the girl's like, I'm just reading this for college. Please don't be weird. Anna flashed back to her first date with Ben. How she had gotten up all her nerve and suggested they go into the giant Hustler sex store on Sunset Boulevard. She had wanted to shock him, and she had. She had loved the way Ben had looked at her. Anna, the proper girl, suggesting something so nasty. She'd actually purchased some vinyl pants with a zipper from front to back, bisecting her crotch. So tight she'd barely been able to breathe. It had been so much fun to wear them, for Ben, to see the look on his face, to feel his arm around her. She's just super horned up for this guy. Girl, buy a vibrator. You don't miss him. You miss being titillated. So, they go on looking. They found a glinting purple faux stone that Sam decided should be attached to her navel. The sales girl gave her some false eyelash adhesive and stuck it perfectly. Then Sam went to a small shoe rack and removed a pair of platform shoes. Anna trailing along. The shoes had a 6-inch hot pink heel, and hot pink lips hung suspended in clear liquid in the soles of the shoes. 2-inch loose-side platforms. Sam dangled them in front of Anna. You must be on drugs. Come on, you want to beat Cammie, don't you? I couldn't even stand in those things. What about all those years of ballet you told me about? Come on, you're graceful enough to walk on still. Sam turned one of the shoes over. It's Destiny. They're size 8. Your size. Anna raised a dubious eyebrow. What about you? I'm a harem girl. Flat thongs. Muttering under her breath, Anna tried on the dreadful shoes. She took a couple steps. She could walk in them, barely. Then she checked out her reflection again in the 3-way mirror. I'm 6'2" in these things. I look like a freak. Okay, so poor Dee off in her own plot. Like, the thing is it's a lot harder to break them down into like A plots, B plots, and C plots because they're all together and they all kind of except for Dee. Sorry, Dee. So Dee is off in her religious psychosis arc. Dee paid the taxi driver and walked through the massive mirror-like doors that led to the Venetian Hotel. Wow, this place was incredible. It was much larger than the Palms and infinitely fancier. Everywhere she looked, there was ornate Italian art, gilded angels, and pasty-faced royalty. There was even a fresco on the soaring ceilings of fat ladies who had never heard of suntan, lolling on jewel-toned cushions. A short tourist-dodging walk past a gallery of upscale boutiques, Prada, Chanel, Le Petit Enfant, took her around the corner to a sight that made her gasp. It was the Venetian Grand Canal, right there inside the hotel. 2-story storefronts lined the canal on both sides, along with broad walkways for pedestrians. Above was a magically blue sky with fleecy clouds, lit from behind to look as though the sun were peeking through the clouds. Dee almost felt dizzy, because it all seemed so real. It reminded Dee of what Jim Carrey saw at the end of The Truman Show. It all looked real, but it wasn't. Here, by this mock Grand Canal, it was daytime 24/7. Makes you think kind of like that scene in the Percy Jackson movies where they go and to the casino, and that's how a lot of kids learn that casinos are set up that way so you actually lose track of time and continue to gamble. But she's here to lose her mind. She scuffed her size 4 baby blue Dolce sandals with the daisies between the toes against the restraining fence. The truth was, Dee was lonely. In this romantic setting, she wished she had someone there with her. Even if the guy did look like an alien in that movie Independence Day, Dee knew she could love him if he loved her. Looks could be fixed. A guy could always go for plastic surgery from Ben's dad. No one had to be unattractive anymore. That was the best thing about living in the 21st century. Of course, Dee knew she didn't have a boyfriend, though with her cute looks, huge blue eyes, and baby girl voice came on to her all the time. For some reason, it never worked out. Most of the guys she fell for turned out to be gay. That's why Dee thanked Hashem, the common Hebrew name for God, though Dee had learned at the Kabbalah Center that the actual name of God had been lost for thousands of years, which was just so mystical and awesome on a daily basis that he had brought around another family to her, a family by choice, one that would always be there for her. Like, we don't get a lot of internals from Dee, except for in this book, and it's kind of wasted because she's already in the grips of religious psychosis at this point. It would have been much more interesting to hear throughout the rest of the other 4 books before we get to this point how lonely Dee is. Like, we gather that into a cool one because how she's glomming onto Sam, but we don't meet Dee's parents until the last and second to last book. If only they could be with her now. A couple of the baby nurses would need to be there too, since someone had to feed the baby and change the baby's diapers and all that yucky stuff, but it was going to be so fun. Dee smiled until the day before it had been Rolling Stone's classic Ruby Tuesdays. She had been the one to suggest the song to Poppy, and Poppy had done it. Then Poppy's voice, "Hi, it's Poppy and Ruby. We've been taking our love to town, so leave a message for us after the beep." Dee looked deeply into Ruby Hummingbird's eyes and knew that they had been together in a former life. She couldn't talk about that stuff with Sam and Cammy. She knew that they'd just tune her out, and she tried not to judge them too harshly. She and Poppy were simply more evolved than Sam and Cammy, so it was no wonder she had grown closer to Poppy and the baby, 2 people who wanted and needed and understood her. Sometimes she did wish life could go back to how it was before Anna Percy showed up in Beverly Hills. Not that it had been Anna's fault or anything. Dee wasn't into placing blame. But back then, she could have been like the coolest, most exclusive club in the world. Her, Cammy, and Sam doing everything together. She remembered how they had first started talking about the senior trip to Vegas when they were in 9th grade. Only now that trip was here, and it wasn't anything like she'd imagined. She thought they'd be running around Vegas being crazy, flirting with guys, and everything would be perfect. But that was the picture she had in her mind. Dee gulped hard, tears threatening. Funny how a person could feel so lonely in the middle of a crowd. No, she refused to be negative. She was simply vibrating on a higher plane now, and she had learned that it could be lonely at the top. People must have understood, even your best friends. Dee was happy that she had finally understood, that she had finally had some direction and focus, even if her friends didn't understand. Sam had always been smart, talented one, Cammy had been hot and bitchy, and Dee had been, well, just Dee! What the fuck are you? Speak to the people. Speak to them. A gondolier reached the end of the canal and held the high note that rang out and finished his song with a gondolier reached the end of the canal and held a high note that rang out and finished his song with a flourish. Everyone applauded. Gnocchi! Gnocchi! Dee yelled down, clapping, along with everyone else. A pretty girl with dark, curly, short-length hair turned to Dee, who had looked up at least 6 inches to see the girl's eyes. "Excuse me, why did you just shout Gnocchi right now?" "I just want to thank the gondolier for the song," Dee explained, earnestly happy that someone was engaging her in conversation. "Gnocchi is Italian for thank you." Somewhat time last year, Dee had been buying cashmere boy shorts by an Australian nude sleepwear when she had run into an Italian guy named Giancarlo, who was shopping for a lei bustier for his girlfriend. They'd flirted, gone out for coffee, then made out in front of Fly Boutique for a while. Then he'd invited Dee back to Le Parc Central Hotel in West Hollywood, since his girlfriend wasn't with him on this visit to Tinseltown. When Dee turned him down, Juan Carlo hadn't been upset. He just kissed her on the hand and whispered, "Thank you for the lovely afternoon. Good noche." "Thank you is grazie," the curly-haired girl corrected her. "No cheese are little potato dumplings." Dee's eyes furrowed. "Are you sure?" "Of course I'm sure. I'm Italian." "Well, maybe he'd been telling what he wanted for dinner." The girl gave Dee a cockeyed look and stepped away from her. Sheesh, Dee thought. No one would have gotten that upset over one little word in Los Angeles. People could be so mean. She'd have to make sure that Ruby Hummingbird wasn't tainted by any mean people. "I hate mean people, Ruby," Dee uttered aloud, and then shook her head. The baby wasn't with her, obviously, but sometimes she just had the most powerful feeling that Ruby Hummingbird could intuit what she was thinking because of their cosmic bond. She slapped a dreamy smile on her face and took off for the spa so that she wouldn't be late for the yoga class. Executive producer Dora is rubbing her face on my my tripod. Dee felt she always had Ruby's spirit with her, always. "Right, Ruby?" she whispered. She could have sworn that she heard the baby's voice whisper right back. "Right." She's not well. That girl is not well. Thank you for having your paws clipped now. Look at her. Look at my executive producer. Look at her. Ah! She's got herself... she's trapping my leg. Thank you. Please do not launch yourself into... for whatever reason... So this is how a chapter header normally looks. For whatever reason... it's all the way up here. And this one, oh, I've lost the tab. It's all the way up here now. And maybe it has to do with the fact that they're sharing a page, but that feels like they would want it lower. These books are poorly edited. They were just pumping these bitches out at a certain point. Cammy and Adam have just finished fucking. Cammy is off to go leave and do her own plot. Cammy's plot has to do with her dead mom. "I was in a hurry for you to get to here," he cocked an amused eyebrow. "But what skin?" "The outdoor club by the pool. There is a small boutique," Cammy explained. She stretched luxuriously. "So tonight should be fun. First I win your little contest, and then we gamble the night away." Adam shifted so that he could look at her. "Is that your idea of a good time?" She gave him a soft, sexy kiss. "Well, there are a lot of things I like better, but a girl can't spend her entire life in bed." "Oh yeah, she could." Adam returned her kiss. "But I don't know what about the whole gambling thing, Cam. It's mostly poor people who get sucked in and ripped off at casinos. I feel weird supporting casinos." "No one makes them risk their money, Adam," Cammy pointed out, propping herself up on one elbow. "Yeah, but the lure can be irresistible. It doesn't seem right, you know." She definitely didn't know. First of all, if poor people were stupid enough to take whatever poor people can earn per week and risk it on the spin of a roulette wheel, they deserved whatever they got. Second of all, she definitely was important, so it had zero to do with her. The thing is that Adam and Cammy are kind of ethically non-compatible. They just don't share the same ethical framework. And it seems more likely for Adam to get more jaded and worse than to make Cammy better. Cammy does get slightly better throughout the series, but not that much. She's still a bitch. So Cammy calls a man, and she's like, "Ugh." "Oh, that voice." Cammy smiled and licked her lips. Perfect. She could hear Adam singing in the shower. "Hi. You're here?" "I came, I saw, I conquered," Cammy quipped, toying with a lock of her hair. "Or maybe I just saw, I conquered, and I came. My kind of girl. Now how soon can I get your ass over here?" Doo-doo-doo-doo. By the time Anna and Sam pull up, Cammy, Adam, and Parker already have a banquet table in the corner. A banquet. A huge illuminated sign in the front window had flashed in giant neon lights. Lush, every Tuesday night. Amateur showgirl contest. Sorry, my executive producer is aggressively grooming herself on my desk. Showgirl contest. $500 prize. 9 p.m. The Lush amateur showgirl contest was clearly a popular happening. The club was packed. Girls dressed to thrill sat at tables, and some other girlfriends with some guys, a lot of them from the way they were stretching out their calf muscles. were preparing to enter the contest. They try and get Dee out, but they can't. There is a note saying she went to the Venetian, and she had not answered it yet. Anyway, we wrote down for Dee where we'd be. She's making noises, and I'm frightened. Where we'd be in case she changes her mind. These days, she's either just shave her head or put on a wig or move to the Fairfax district and velcro herself to Poppy with the baby. I have no clue why she even came with us. To be with you, Anna said pointedly. Come again? She came because you and Sam are still her best friends and she wanted to be here with you. Please, Cammy scoffed. She's too busy breastfeeding Ruby Hummingbird or whatever the hell she does at Sam's house. Jeez, Cam. Adam chides. But, you know, bitch. What? I need you to know I'm so afraid of her getting injured. She's down there. Ah! She's in my box, bro. She's in my box. I love her dearly, but she freaks me the fuck out. So Sam forfeits. So now it's just Anna and Cammy. The waitress doesn't ask them for any ID, and they all order drinks. Purr. The dancers finish their warm-up routine to a smattering of applause. Then the voice comes over the loud system. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your host, recently retired World Wrestling Federation and new addition to the Vegas comedy circuit, Monty Markham. My executive producer is in grabbing distance again. So, oh my god, you're fine. You're fine. There's now a thing happening, and they're like, oh my god, you should join. And Anna's like, absolutely not. And Cammy's like, oh yeah, only trashy hoes do that. You're not a bass-ass bitch. You're a trashy hoe. So, she doesn't do it. So thus starts the whatchamacallit. Starts the show. Also, apparently, there is a costume store that is sponsoring this. And frankly, the only way to win is if you are wearing one of the costumes from that shop. So, excuse me. Lucy sashays on stage to Michael Jackson's Billie Jean. She was a short girl with stubby, muscular legs that even her bright pink platform heels couldn't do much to improve. She wore a glittery gold one-piece swimsuit. A giant Cleopatra headpiece made out of pheasant feathers and crystal stones adorned her head. The spotlight followed her as she paraded around the stage. Meanwhile, a lone table of friends behind Anna hooted and hollered. Why would a chick with those thighs enter a showgirl contest? And why would she dance to Billie Jean? That's like guaranteeing you're gonna lose. She's never gonna win if she can't afford a decent freaking costume. A pear-shaped, silky-haired redhead at the table next to them loudly said to a friend. The redhead was obviously going to compete later on. Her red sequins dress and stiletto heels gave it away. She should shop at Show Off. Well, there's a place called Show Off where everyone gets their showgirl outfits, the girl explained. The headdress costs like $300 or something, but if you don't shop at Show Off, you don't win. I think the owner has interest in the place or something. Cammy goes off. Leave it to Cammy to say something bitchy about the poor girl. And next up was a tall, beautiful girl with long platinum blonde hair and a showgirl's body and walk. She wore an angel outfit worthy of the grand final of a Tony Kushner play. Transparent wings spread from the sides. Her gossamer bikini top, which spread her arms. Gossamer bikini top from the sides of her gossamer bikini top when she spread her arms. Hey, disqualify the bitch, the redhead at the next table shouted, getting halfway out of the chair. She works at fucking Harvey's on Lake Tahoe last year. I know. I was a blackjack dealer. Why would it be, Anna wondered, to be a blackjack dealer or showgirl? Both jobs were solar systems away from anything she'd ever actually do, even for one night, even in this place. What was the famous saying? What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas? Uh-huh. I love her dearly. She's got no thoughts behind those eyes. I love her. And our final contestant, all the way from Beverly Hills, California, Miss Cammy Shepherd. Attention snapped to the stage where spotlight hit Cammy. She wore the same black t-shirt and black jeans she'd worn earlier. The same balto slingback aqua heel. That bitch. I thought she went to John. Thought she went to the John. Chammy. Cammy strided across the stage, followed by the spotlight. She had chosen miles apart by Yellowcard, and there were a few protest shouts over the music. That blonde bitch wasn't in a real costume. But then Cammy stopped, crossed her arms at her waist, and slowly inched her t-shirt over her head before flinging it into the cheering crowd. All she had on now above the waist was a pale pink satin Dior push-up bra, pushing up the best breasts that money could buy. Next off were the heels. She kicked them into the vicinity of the 3 judges, and then slowly undid the diamond studs under the fly of her jeans, one after the other, swiveling them down her hips until she could step out of them. Her pale satin G-string matched her bra, exposing the slender 4-carat gold chain she wore around her belly. Then Cammy stood on her toes, Anna figured this was to compensate for lack of heels, and paraded around the stage, swinging her sexy curls over her shoulder. Guys stood and whistled, Adam and Parker, and among them. The women next at the other table were like, disqualify her. Sam was right, which meant it was the exact opposite of an Anna Percy. Sam leaned into Anna's ear, shouting to be heard over the crowd and music. This is such a Cammy Shepherd moment. Sam was right, which meant it was the exact opposite of an Anna Percy moment. Anna knew she could never pull that off, not in a million years. Sure, her best friend Sin from back in New York definitely could. Anna smiled at the thought of Sin being there. Sin would strip down to her Brazilian wax just for the pleasure of vanquishing Cammy. Scott Spencer would be there too, clapping and whistling for her the way Adam was clapping and whistling for Cammy. Maybe that's just what guys want, Anna mused. At least guys who were in high school. Maybe that's why, as much as she was crushing on Scott, he never gave her much of a second glance. The music ended and Cammy bowed to the audience, which was going wild for her. Anna had to give Cammy credit. She had guts. She had Anna Percy. Anna Percy. Yo, Anna. Oh, I'm gonna do that line again. Anna Percy. Yo, Anna, where are you? Anna turned. No, it couldn't be. But it was. She stood up and waved her arms. Her friend Sin saw her, grinned wildly, and pushed through the crowd towards her table. Her chin-length, choppy black hair was mussed to perfection. She wore an ancient thrift store black cashmere cardigan, unbuttoned to her navel, revealing naked skin, and the hammered gold Bing Bang necklace Anna had given her for her 15th birthday. Below that were camouflage pants that barely cleared her bikini wax, and below the pants, red and white checkerboard band sneakers. Anna just stood there, dumbfounded by the moment, not only because it was as if she had conjured that Sin by thinking of her, but who was trailing behind Sin? Dee Young and Spencer Scott. Scott Spencer. This is President Pookie. Ah, you're fine. I love her dearly. She hates me. She hates me so fucking bad. But she's my baby. 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 Bye.
In a way that you're not going to sell to from John Red. So if you are in a larger city, like take the Knicks for
So Scott and Sin are there, and that's so cool. That's so cool. They're here. Oh my god. From New York? Our New York people are here, and we get to learn about them. Yay! So from the outside looking in, Sin is kind of like a sexed up Ashley Simpson type. And the guy is like Chad Michael Murray from Wintry Hill and apparently Gilmore Girls. Let me read the whole thing. The guy with her was very Chad Michael Murray, a guy Parker loathed. He had been up for the same small part on Gilmore Girls that had gone to Chad. And from that, Chad had been cast as the lead on One Tree Hill. As Parker knew, he could have played the hell out of both roles. He tried not to let that color his opinion of the guy from New York. I don't want to be anything other than what I've been trying to be lately. All I ask of you is think of me and have peace of mind. Doing the jelly roll hands. It's Sin. In Sin City. I'm wearing lashes, yes? And they're like, how'd you find us? Oh my god, Dee brought them there. She was back at the hotel after her little ecstasy mentee bee. Sin hears about Cammy doing her striptease thing. Sin is like, Why would I take that? She gets up on the table. The sound system was pumping the Rolling Stones classic Honky Tonk Woman while the judges deliberated. Before Parker knew what was happening, Anna's friend jumped on their table. She began to do what had to be the hottest dancing Parker had ever seen. Heads in the room swiveled, guys stared, whistling and catcalling, and Sin's boyfriend seemed totally down with it. She ends her low-rise camouflage pants south, exposing a tattoo of an angel with a quiver in his bow pointing south. Just as the waiter was rushing to pull Sin from the table, she spanked her own butt once, then jumped down herself. Sin is a freak. We love her, but she's a freak. Cammy calls her tacky, and frankly, it takes one to know one. East Coast versus West Coast. What are we, people? Americans. And this is such a Parker book, and we only get a Parker book, that this is so much of Parker is wrapped up in this book. So we hear a lot of his perspective and how he thinks of himself and his place in their social group. As she headed back towards the front of the club, Parker noticed that not only did Adam's eyes follow her, but so did Scott's. Parker understood, though. Cammy had the same effect on Guy that Parker knew he had on girls. He hadn't asked for it. He hadn't really worked for it. He just had it. She felt Sin's eyes on him, checking him out at that very moment. He gave her his patented perfect slow grin. Meanwhile, the wheels turned rapidly in his head. Ugh. They just got it. They're just hot. They're sexy. You want them, and they don't even think about you. So Parker is cooking on how to get a lady friend to pay for his life, and how he did it once at Lake Tahoe. And that he's already flirting with waitresses to get him free food. Anything he can want, he's going to flirt and gigolo his way into. Adam and Scott bond about how much they enjoyed The Onion and The Daily Show. Parker's not impressed. So now it's time for the results of the Hot Girl contest. A woman named Daphne Whitestone wins. Yay, Daphne. The hot girl with the long platinum blonde hair and the angelic showgirl outfit climbed onto the stage to claim her crown and check for $500. The redhead at the table next to Cammy shot a nasty look. No costume, disqualified. And the other chick at your table dances better than you do anyway. Other people are shitty. And that's cool too. A guy who's hot on Cammy pays for everyone at the table, much to Parker's pleasure. And we are back in Anna's point of view, in which she laments her previous lust for Scott. Now she wondered, would sex with Scott offer that kind of bliss? According to Sin, definitely. Sin hadn't paid attention to anything in the "this is how we do things" big book that underscored how discretion was the better part of living. Not that the book had literally existed, but Anna and every other old money rich girl from Manhattan's Upper East Side had been raised on the same metaphorical tone. Sin had loved to share, in detail, her steamy confessions with Scott. Sin doesn't know about Anna's feelings about Scott, and she never would if Anna can have her way, because Anna is as repressed as her pilgrim ancestors. So the next morning, Anna wakes up and goes for they come back to the hotel, and they go to the hot tubs to womp about, and Anna discusses her one-piece Dior halter neck high cut leg bathing suit, and also how much Sin is kind of disillusioned with Scott. She was talking about her boyfriend, Dee filled in, waving a hand languidly through the hot water, and how he's starting to get on her nerves. Maybe he's gay. You're the one who always hooks up with gay guys, Dee, Sam reminded her. Scott is definitely not gay, but they are not compatible with each other, and I think that is okay. That happens. That's life, baby. You can't even see all the shit I was worried about. Sin realizes that she likes the chase. Similarly to Cammy, that she likes the chase, but is not sure if she's built for the long-lasting pilgrimage that is a relationship. No more stealing guys with wedding rings away from the wives just because she could. It was a game she played that never went beyond furious making out sessions. but never went beyond furious makeout sessions. Sin said that it helped keep her realistic and jaded view of the male half of the human race. Like, this book introduces so many characters that I'm reading a lot of quotes, and for that I apologize. Anna's like, "Are you bored?" And she's like, "Yes." Anna treats any information about this relationship as oversharing, and thus cannot even give an inch to Sin to let her in on her private thoughts on how she's feeling about all of this. Anna raised her hand to stop her friend. Oversharing. This was too personal. And the whole conversation, can't believe it. We just used to jump each other like 3 times a night. And when we went out to movies, we'd sit by a wall and we'd do it during the boring parts. Anna tried not to look as shocked as she felt. "You mean you had sex in a movie theater?" Sin laughed. "Put your jaw back on your face, Anna. We're not the only ones. It's not hard to pull off. You just oversharing." This was too personal, and the whole conversation was upsetting in the strictest sense of the word. When she had seen Sin and Scott together come into Lush together, they had been everywhere. Everything was status quo. But obviously, based on what Sin was telling her, everything wasn't hunky-dory. Meanwhile, Anna knew full well that despite how much she was missing Ben, a part of her still had feelings for Scott. If for no other reason than the feeling them for years. That moment when she'd come into Lush, she wanted him. In her heart of hearts, she still wanted him, and maybe even more than she'd wanted any other guy. Maybe even more than she wanted Ben. Ooh. Sin talks about her sex life vaguely around all the places in New York she's rolled around, and how she's done some Mormon-style soaking stuff, some semi-sex, some soft swinging, if you will, that doesn't quite qualify as sex, but it wasn't a beach. In the men's point of view, we are taken to, I believe, Adam, hearing about Scott and his relationship. He says Sin is cool, but the fire's gone. Knowing how much longer the girls would take to get ready for the rest of the evening, Adam and the other guys had time to kill. It was why they decided to stop for a drink. Kimmy had bowed out, stopping in their suite only long enough to change outfits, claiming she had to do something downtown. When Adam had asked her about it, she just had that she just smiled enigmatically. What was that about? Parker suggests that everyone break up because he is a non-monogamous gigolo, and if there's more single girls to go around, there's more people to pay his way. Sprinkle, sprinkle. Parker explains why he's never been particularly interested in Anna. "There's like a million variations on Anna at Trinity where I go to school," Scott explained. "You just know what I mean. Rich, blonde, wasp, smart." "You got that right," Adam said definitively. "It's interesting because Sin is her good friend and she's kind of a wild girl," Scott observed. "So it's kind of intriguing, you know?" He stared contemptuously into his drink. "I guess you should just say Sin used to be wild, or what I used to think was wild. Can't figure out how we got where we are. How did we get here? I used to know." Yeah, do we? We return to Dee. Dee sat on the edge of her suite's massive oak and white canopy netting bed and tried Poppy's private line. Voicemail again. It worried her a lot. Where could Poppy possibly be with Ruby Hummingbird? It was 11 o'clock at night. Ruby should be home, sleeping in her pink and white Lacoste crib, tucked in next to her limited edition stiff stuffed fiber zebra that had been a gift from Ashton and Demi. "Hi, Poppy. It's me. I know this is like my 5th message, but I was really worried about you guys. You know how I have this cosmic connection to Ruby? It's telling me that something isn't right. If I were closer, I'd just come over, but I'm in Las Vegas. So it's kind of impossible. So please, if you have time, call me right back. Anyways, thanks." Dee hung up, but still jiggled one foot nervously. "Don't worry, Ruby Hummingbird. We are in full freak-out mode. We are truly in freak-out mode. Maybe it was a whole gang of them. They had bound and gagged Poppy and all the baby nurses so that the infant girl could be held for ransom. Don't worry, Ruby Hummingbird. I'll save you," Dee muttered, confident that on some cosmic, inexplicable by ordinary man level, the baby could understand her. What was that? Huh? Dee whirled around. Has she just heard the baby cry? Mama! It was the baby's cry. Dee whirled her eyes. Ruby? She called out, "Ruby?" Nothing. Certainly that Sam's baby stepsister was desperate to contact her. Dee pounded harder on Sam's door. It opened. "I miss you too." Dee marched in over to her and tapped her on her shoulder. "Sam, I'm serious. You have to listen to me. It's about Ruby." "No, it is not. My dad and Poppy would call me right away if the baby was sick, so whatever is so urgent is going to have to wait." Dee slunk away, wondering what to... Cammy! Cammy would listen. Cammy had to listen. She bolted out of Sam's and Anna's suite and ran to the opposite direction where Cammy and Adam were staying. Raised voices came from inside as Cammy and Adam are in a fight about where Cammy keeps fucking disappearing too. She's the plot, baby. She's gotta go. They're fighting about Cammy disappearing the way she has been. So Dee makes the decision to call. She checks her messages, nothing back from Poppy, so she decides to call Poppy and be like, "Hey, where's the baby?" And then, if by magic, her custom designed cell phone ringtone. I get to use it! Ha, ha, ha. And if by magic, her custom designed cell phone ringtone, the haunting melody from the Avenue Malkini prayer from Rosh Hashanah, the Jewish New Year, sounded. "Hello?" Dee answered by one of the 6 tones. By the end of the 6th tone, "Dee, this is Tarshia, one of the baby nurses for Mr. and Mrs. Sharp," the woman announced on the other end. "Thanks, Hashim. Thank Hashim." Right, I know exactly who you are," Dee assured her. "I'm so glad you called. Is Ruby okay?" "The baby is just fine. Miss Sharp is out with Mr. Sharp and she forgot her cell. She called in for messages and asked me to call you, sweetheart." Dee sagged on her couch with relief. "So everything's fine? Everything's okay?" "Everything is just fine. Miss Sharp asked me to tell you that you don't need to be calling her while you're on your school trip, sweetheart." "Oh, I don't mind. I think it's my responsibility to stay in touch." They hit the Pentagon. Silence. "Don't take this wrong, sweetheart. Don't take this wrong, sweetheart," Tertia said. "Tertia? Tertia?" Tertia finally told her. "But Miss Shea is asking you not to call. She said she'll call you when she gets a chance." "Oh. Don't take this... You just go have fun with your friends. See you soon." Dee sat there. What could this possibly mean? Maybe Tertia had misinterpreted Poppy's message. Yes, that had to be it. She dialed Poppy's cell phone and got again the machine. Well, it didn't matter what the nursemaid told her. No way she was going out with the others with all of this going on at home. She sat and waited until she heard from Poppy. She could read the Zohar, a book of Jewish mysticism she had brought with her. Then she'd go to sleep. In the morning, she'd go to Shabbat for the morning Mihan, just like she'd promised Rabbi Yaakov at the Kabbalah Center. Meanwhile, she'd be still and listen very carefully. Maybe Ruby Hummingbird would send her another psychic message. Ruby Hummingbird will send her some more psychic messages. Anna and the rest of the group are going out. Anna wears an item that her mother did not appreciate. Well, Anna, well, she didn't carry her mother's disapproving voice in her head anymore, or at least she tried not to. Hold up, I am just gonna read it. Anna wore the black helmet-long shrunken cashmere sweater with the shoulders cut out, purchased last year on a shopping spree at Saks with Sid. Anna recalled her mother's frown when she had first seen Anna in the sweater and her comments. Didn't Anna find it rather tacky to cut the sweaters out of a black 6-ply cashmere? Did Anna intend for it to be so cropped that it looked like one of the maids had mistakenly thrown it in the washing machine? Anna recalled how she had just changed out of the sweater after that, the joy of wearing it gone. Well, she didn't carry her mother's disapproving voice in her head anymore, or at least she tried not to, so she was damn well going to wear the sweater tonight. She paired it with silk pants, it does not matter. But she's growing from her mother, her mama. Anna whinges and lusts. Thinking about Ben again, she calls him and leaves, doesn't get him, leaves a message. It's me again, Anna. She added quickly. It made her sound like an idiot since she had already left a voicemail earlier. "So, I'm calling you from Vegas. We're at the Palms, and I just, damn. She could do this. I was thinking about how much fun it would be if you were here." She took a deep breath. And the thing is, I still think about you a lot. Wherever I go, you're still there inside my head. That sounds crazy, I suppose, considering how we parted, and I'm rambling, and, well, I just wanted you to know. She was thinking of what else to say when Sam knocked on her door. Sam is into Eduardo. Anna's feeling weepy and sad, and Sam tells her, we're young and beautiful and attractive. Let's go out and have fun. I think that is the thing I like the most about their friendship, is that they are constantly reminding each other that they do not need to take life so seriously. That they are allowed to have fun. They specifically are allowed to have fun. They've got money, honey, and no responsibility. So the kids are off on an adventure in the title chapter, Flexing Her Sexiness. Adam and Cammy have resolved their fight, and it hadn't gone really anywhere when they left. She decided to leave the hotel room and go downstairs to a bar and have sushi and be young and sexy. Then she strolled the perimeter of the casino. A guy, after all, had hit on her. Old, young, short, tall, bald, ponytailed. They had all been on her like white on rice. None of it had given her the thrill she'd expected. The old zing of flexing her sexiness and seeing the kind of power she had over men. She couldn't decide if it was because being with Adam was taking that excitement away from her, or if she had just become incredibly jaded. Then she had seen something that stopped her in her tracks. A pretty, modestly dressed brunette in her 30s walked by, her arm linked with that of an ordinary-looking man with thinning brown hair and a largest nose. She was only about 5'3", and her husband wasn't much taller. Cammy noticed their matching wedding rings. The woman gazed up at him like the sun, eyes only for him. What had taken Cammy's breath away was how much the woman had looked like her mother. Same soft brown eyes, lustrous brown hair, and same easy step as she walked. The stab of the moment came on so quickly that Cammy's hands flew involuntarily to her own heart. Whatever, Cammy is miserable because everyone reminds her of her dead mom, and she's always questioning why her mom is dead, why her mom killed herself, and if her mother would have loved her if she is the way that she is now. Would she be this way if her mother hadn't died? So many questions. How interesting and introspective to follow that beat. So Cammy is lamenting her mother and really her relationship with her father post that. Adam rejoins her and is just like, oh my god, do you want to go dancing? And she's like, no, I want to go hit the slots. We're in Vegas. When in Vegas, go. And he's like, I'm really not big on gambling, which is like, you should be dating people whose morals align with you. And their morals don't always align in a way. And she's like, I don't make poor people bet the house. He's like, I just don't want to support it. But like, I don't know, you went to Vegas. Like, obviously you went to Vegas because your hot girlfriend went to Vegas. But like, you're not gonna do a little bit of underage gambling? I would do a little bit of underage gambling, but I don't know. Maybe I'm Berea. I don't know. I don't know. Me? Knowing? Don't. Couldn't. They're arguing, and she's like, has anyone ever flung the term bleeding heart liberal in your direction? Rich Beverly Hills boy, all sanctimonious. First of all, I'm not rich. Your parents probably make. And second of all, who the hell cares? He backed away far enough to frown at her. What is up with you, Cammy? For real. She hated the frown. Like, he didn't know her, or if he did, he didn't like what he saw. Why do you want to be with me? She asked plaintively, when I'm such a jerk. You're hot? He joked. No, I'm serious. So am I, but it's a lot more than that. I don't know, Cam. You're just, I guess I see a part of you that you don't let most people see. Cammy felt the warm sensation in her chest. Oh my god. A guy who thought he could peer into her soul? How could you give a boy like that up just because you wanted to be able to flirt with other guys? God. What would she do if she lost him? Be a bitch. I complain a lot in the reading of these books. Specifically Secrets of My Hollywood Life and Cam of the Clique for having what I describe as paper cutout boys. They add nothing to the plot. They always agree with your main character because your main character is always right, and they're always going to support their girl. They are boring. I like Adam because I think Cammy having the quote-unquote good boy is so interesting because she is such a scumbag, generally, but reading it back sometimes when he's like, I just see something in you. He's like, I don't know. I mean, it's crazy to have a 17-year-old boy be like, maybe I like being treated like shit. Maybe it does something to me. But that's at least more interesting than being like, I see you. I know you better than you know you because I'm your man. Like, I don't know. He's giving paper cutout. But I think he's always supposed to be the nice guy in the original love triangle and then love decahedron. Because it's fucking love diamond. I think by the end of it, we could call it a love diamond. With axes that share boys. They go around and she's like, oh my god, I love you. And she's like explaining how she just like sometimes just doesn't want to be herself. And he's like, hey man, I don't know. I'm listening. Like, I don't share those feelings, but I am listening and I want to help you. She didn't know how to make him understand how much she loved him. She felt both suffocated by that love and, like with her mother, certain in her knowledge that it could disappear overnight. That as much as she wanted her freedom, she'd say anything and do anything so she wouldn't lose him. She tells him that she loves him. That's super big. We get an I love you. Ooh. But we also get her like trying to like have sex with him, and they're like, we are in public. And she's like, it's fine, it's Vegas. And he's like, ugh. And he's like, loosen up. And he's like, I don't want to loosen up because we are in Vegas. You are a child? We are children. She leaves. They are there. She's like, forget it. And they leave. P.S. She calls it to a middle-aged driver. Where to? She pulls out a scrap of paper from her Balenciaga bag and reads the address to him. 20 minutes later, they were climbing a private winding road towards the top of a mesa. A taxi driver told her that if she was into flying saucers, she could probably see Area 51 from her seat. She told him to keep his eyes on the road. Finally, they reached the top of the mesa. The very top, looking over the bright lights of Vegas, was an enormous, modern-looking white house that had a commanding view of the city. In a circular front driveway, Cammy paid the driver, tipped his blue ball cap, and headed down the hill towards the city. She ran to the front door, tall, huge, plain, and white, with a heavy brass knocker. Cammy ignored it and hit the illuminated doorbell. Seconds later, the door opened. Camilla, it's been too long. She went into his arms. Okay, the thing that I'm going to complain about with this is that Cammy, oh my god, is that Cammy is gone for several hours at a time during this 5-day trip, and it just like never affects the plot. She just like, the only person who ever is missing her is fucking Adam. She just like leaves the plot and then like comes back and she's like, womp 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 womp, titties, titties, titties. So it is finally the next morning, and she's gonna go swimming in her canary yellow bathing suit. Who does she run into but Scott? He's got a chocolate brown lab named Marge. Oh my god, dog named Marge. They kind of have like a half flirt. It's like, because we're only getting it from Anna's point of view, it is perceived as a flirty back and forth where Anna then kind of fights with herself on if she should be having fun with her old friend. They race each other to swim. Whoever loses pays for lunch. She loses. He's got a piece in the Times. And they kind of rib each other. They barb. Of course she remembered she'd been in a terrible mood and had emailed Sin, who had insisted they turn on webcams they had just brought. One of the first things that Sin told her was that the New York Times had just published a humorous op-ed piece by Scott about what would happen if the Bush twins joined the Peace Corps. Sin says you're a really good writer. There, Anna had brought up Sin. That proved she had no designs for Sin's boyfriend. Maybe the great sex dumbed down her opinion, he suggested. Ever happened to you? What? Have you ever had sex so great with a guy that you thought he was someone he wasn't? Anna laughed. They banter back and forth about the writing. She says something cutting, and I'm sorry I said that, she said firmly. She finally muttered. It's funny, Scott began. Back in New York, you always seemed so tense. Only around you because I wanted to throw myself at you every time I saw you. It's not like you knew me, she pointed out. True. Maybe I should have gotten to know you. Scott's direct gaze met her. He had a single freckle right next to the left corner of his lip. Am I interrupting? Sin arrives. Anna feels like she has been cheating. And not because she's like lusting after Scott, but she has betrayed her best friend Sin. How could she do this? God, she had acted like an idiot when Sin showed up. And as if she and Scott were guilty of some secret flirtation. But they weren't. Anna was sure of it. Well, pretty sure. Tonight! Live in the Jungle Room, Drake Mesmer in Hypnosis. Voted best hypnotist in Vegas by Las Vegas Insider. So Parker has gotten this girly girl. She's a redhead. She's pretty. She's cute. And she's loaded on money. He was a man with a plan, which is why he changed the subject from which casino on the strip put the most alcohol in its free drinks to something a bit more personal. You know, Kendall, you have the best hair. He fingered one of her curly locks. You think? Hold up. You think? She drawled noisily, sipping the last of her Singapore sling through her straw. It was her third drink. Parker was counting. I always hated being a redhead when I was a kid. So, you know, tell me more about your acting. She's drunk, and he's gonna lead her around. They show up for her thing, for the meeting to go see the hypnotist, and Parker invites Kendall along with him. So now everyone's here. Oh, I've lost one of my tabs. I guess I'll never know what I was gonna say there. Now back with the hypnotist. I feel like my hair looks stupid, but I'm here now. You may think you can't be hypnotized, Drake Mesmer turned the Pack Theater. He prowled along the narrow stage. He was a large, bald man with a well-cut, expensive-looking suit. But you may be wrong. He waved his hand and the enormous diamond on his pinky ring sparkled. According to the program, when Drake Mesmer wasn't doing his show, he was a hypnotist to the stars, jetting all over Hollywood, curing the rich and famous of their various phobias and addictions. And based on the size of that giant rock on his finger, you must have made pretty good money doing it. Sam is nonplussed by the hypnotist. Parker's date is super drunk and is loud and annoying. Drake asked everyone in the audience to lift one arm up into the air. Is my armpit weird? No. Drake asked everyone in the audience to lift one arm in the air. Sam checked out the crowd. Pretty much everyone did it. What the hell? She raised her arm too. She was certain she couldn't be hypnotized, but was way too self-conscious to ever give up being in control. She was way too self-conscious to ever give up control in public. You will keep moving them and find them closer and closer to each other. Keep staring, keep staring. They're moving closer and closer. Sam didn't even bother to do it until she saw Anna's friend Sin with her eyes locked on her fingertips. Ditto for the guy from New York. In the other direction, Cammy and Adam were doing the same thing. Oh, fuck, why not? Sam put her index finger a foot from her face and stared at them like they were at the Academy Awards statue her father had been robbed of winning. This was right up Dee's alley. On the other hand, it might have influenced Dee. So many things did. Dee Young deciding to become a hypnotist was a scary proposition. She'd be a cute little magician. You feel no panic, no concern, Drake went on as he strolled the stage from end to end. Everything is fine. You are totally relaxed, but you cannot open your eyes. Listen to the sound of my voice. You know you are safe when you hear my voice. On the count of 3, you will be able to open your eyes. You will feel relaxed. 1, 2, 3. Ooh. Anna's eyes opened. That was amazing, she hissed. It felt like they were locked shut. So Drake calls people onto the stage. Drake walked up and down his 2 line of subjects, moving in and out. When I touch your forehead, you will fall asleep. He used his commanding voice as before. You will have no worries, no cares, and you will fall asleep instantly. Trust me. Let yourself sleep. He went up to people at random, put his palm of his right hand in the center of their forehead and counted to 3 and told them to sleep. They fell over like a stack of bricks. Sam watched astonished as Scott went out like a light at Drake's command. Then the hypnotist had Sin go to sleep half atop him. The guy next to her landed on her right butt cheek. Cammy fell straight out in the center of the stage. Adam landed to her right, on her right Manolo, but didn't seem to feel anything. Anna ended up entwined with a skinny guy sporting serious bling. Unfreaking believable. Maybe it was real. There was no way Anna Percy would be sprawled out on stage draped over some guy she didn't know. He stopped by the redhead who come up with Parker. He took her right hand and lifted it up and watched it drop. I love you. I can't use you. Goodbye, Drake said into the microphone. Her eyes snapped open. Sam couldn't imagine how Drake could have determined she was faking, but he almost definitely had. But I'm hypnotized. Sorry, sweetie. Can't use you. Drake told his subjects to get up and take seats at the rear of the stage. They all complied, and then sat patiently waiting for what would come next. A drum roll. He began putting couples together at random, placing them around the stage. Anna was opposite the hot guy who looked a lot like Mark Anthony, but taller. Cammy ended up with Adam. Sin was with muscular tattooed guy with the blue mohawk. Nice looking if you went for that sort of thing. Scott was put with a short girl whom either nature or surgery had blessed with gargantuan breasts. She wore a red skin-tight t-shirt, obviously on purpose. Okay, sure. When I give you the signal, you will do everything you can to seduce the person across from you, Drake instructed. You will think they are the sexiest, hottest person in the world, and you want to prove to them that you are the only person for them. As Drake gave the signal, Barry White's deep bass voice crooned sexily on the sound system. Instantly, the couples were all over each other. They are children! Will somebody think of the children? Oh no, my light! The short girl with Scott literally jumped on him, her stubby legs encircling his waist. Cammy and Adam were making out furiously, and Anna of all people, was practically rubbing herself up and down on the gorgeous Mark Anthony guy, as if she were a Siamese cat in heat. Leave it to Anna to get paired up with a sizzler. After a few minutes, in which an audience could barely control itself, Drake called to a halt the proceedings. He sent all his subjects back to the row chairs at the rear of the stage and commanded them to sleep. They slept momentarily, and then, just as the waitress brought Sam another beer, Drake asked Adam to step forward and open his eyes. He is still under, Drake advised the audience. Don't worry. What is your name, young man? Adam. How's it going tonight? Fine. Enjoying the show? Feeling comfortable? Yes. Can you do something for me, Adam? I'd like you to walk over to anyone on the stage right now and say one honest thing to him or her. Right now. Do you understand, Adam? One honest thing. Do not worry. This person will not react to you. In fact, that person will say thank you. Do you understand? Yes. Sam sat forward in her chair. This was unbelievable. What would Adam do? There was a complete silence in the theater as Adam stepped directly to Cammy. Her. What's her name? Do you know her? Adam nodded. Cammy. Cammy, can you step forward, please? Cammy stepped forward. Drake went and draped an easy arm around Adam's shoulder. Okay, Adam. What do you want to say to her that she doesn't know? Adam turned to Cammy. You're my girlfriend, but sometimes I'm really attracted to other girls. Holy shit! Sam was so startled that when she nearly knocked over her beer. This was amazing. If Cammy wasn't hypnotized, she'd kill Adam for saying that. No! She'd break up with him first and then kill him second. Thank you, Cammy droned. Oh no, this was not happening. Cammy, do you have something you want to say back to Adam? Drake queried. Something honest? Don't worry, he'll thank you. Adam, I'm really into you, but you're too nice. Nice guys who are nice bore me. Thank you, Adam responded. Sam shook her head, jaw hanging open. If she hadn't been seeing this, she would have never believed it. Thank you, Cammy. Thank you, Adam. So they go down the list. Drake brings up Parker. He says that he loves Kendall. And she's like, oh my god. Eee. Sam looked up from the drunk redhead up to Parker and then back at the redhead. Okay, this made zero sense. The girl was not that cute. Plus, her uni was worthy of a headline. Uni got dead with this outfit. Plus, Parker had just met her. How could he know that her insides were beautiful? Just strange. So lastly, They go to Anna, and Anna says, Scott, I wanted to have sex with you ever since the first moment I saw you. Which is crazy. Anna, what are you talking about, Diva? What are we talking about, Diva? On the count of 3, you will be fully awake and aware, no longer hypnotized. You will have a wonderful and refreshing feeling. 1, 2, 3. And so then everyone gets a copy of the DVD, and they go on to their next party spot. Sam is like, none of these people can see this. No one can see this. This is radical, like, honesty that is going to absolutely fuck up the friend group. So they're like, oh shit, we could not discuss this. Sam cannot convince them not to buy the DVD copy, so they have the DVD copy. Oh no. Kimmy merely blinked at the girl as if she weren't even worthy of a reply, then returned back to the group. I've got a better idea. Remember I told you the guy that I knew a place where we could, told you guys that I knew a place where we could gamble? Adam began. Cammy waved him off. Adam doesn't approve of gambling. You came to Vegas and you don't approve of gambling? Scott shook his head in mock disbelief. You're better than me and than I, my friend. It's no biggie. I'm just perfect and godlike and Christ-like. Adam J. Christ. Which is really sweet, Cammy tiptoed to kiss her boyfriend. And you can relax, baby, because the place I want to take you to is totally private. And you can gamble for fun, not for private. No animals will be harmed in this process. Can we check out the DVD there, Sin Press? Whatever, let's go. I'm sick of this place. Whatever happens in Vegas stays in Vegas was definitely not about to stay in Vegas. Sam panicked as they made their way through the Cavernous Hotel to their waiting limo. As soon as their friends saw the DVD, that shit was going to hit the Vera Wang. And who knew how far it would fly? We're back with Anna as we travel back up the mesa to a place that the plot, have been before. The guy knows Cammy. It's fancy and big and, almost cartoonishly adorned as most things are in these books. They get some food going, and they are there with very strange. Anna couldn't imagine what the connection was between it and Cammy. Seriously, Cammy, where are we? An old friend's house, Cammy replied. His father keeps his cute little casino for his guests, friends, private parties, bat mitzvahs, kind of like a hobby. What friend? Adam queried and etched his voice. Craig had just swung back through the door. You kids want to play for fun or for money? I can convert the machines with a flick of the switch. And we've got the loosest slots in town. Nah, Adam answered quickly. We'll play for fun. Fair enough. Don't tell me what to fucking do. Adam is stopping Parker's bag. My God. Sound system is by one of the fireplaces. Blah, blah, blah. Cammy can show you the gym and the virtual reality room. Feel free to explore. Cammy can show you, Adam repeated. How does Cammy know? Enough with the intrigue shit, Sam demanded. Whose place is this? My place. A voice came from behind them. Brock Stryker. Anna turned. Ruggedly handsome guy with broad shoulders and spiky hair and blonde stubble on his dimpled chin stood with his arms crossed. He wore hip, baggy jeans and long-sleeved black t-shirts. Sam was staring in disbelief. Brock? Sam Sharp. Don't you remember me? How many Brocks are there? Her face broke into a huge grin. I can't believe it. You used to be such a little shit. I always wondered what happened to you. As the others watched, Sam threw her arms around the guy who hugged her back warmly. God, remember like the time in 5th grade when your parents took us out on their yacht? And we played spin the bottle with champagne? Cassian Montret 77 from your father's wine cellar. Cammy recalled laughing. He found us and you drink this and you play with each other. He found us and said, you drink this and you play with each other. Then he made us all drink some. Take it in the bouquet. Broken tone somberly, evidently intimidating, pretending to be his father. Didn't Dee Young get sick? He looked around the casino room. Where is she anyway? Seeking enlightenment in the mysteries of Zohar. Up in her suite at the Palms, Sam scoffed. She just didn't want to come. When did Dee convert to Judaism? So Brock is a friend of the girls and from their childhood. And they are talking. Cammy had to find him because to her knowledge, Cammy's mother and father were on the boat the night that her mother died. They play. Anna gets really good at blackjack. This is the first time she's played, but she's a savant because she's Anna. We get the first inclinations of kind of the back half of Anna's arc. Nice job, Anna, their host complimented her. You should think about doing this for a living and skip the whole Yale education thing. Highly overrated, Sin pushed back from the table. Tell you what, let's get the guys and watch the DVD from the hypnosis thing. Ooh, ooh. Sam, they sit down and Sam is like, oh shit. And Anna's like, what's up? And she's like, it's about to get bad. Anna sees herself on the screen and everyone is embarrassed about everything that is said. Cammy, I don't even remember. Adam began to apologize. Fuck you. She stomped over to the glass door leading outside, pulled one open, and slammed out into the night. Cammy, wait! He goes off to find Cammy. Anna watches herself do whatever she does to Scott, and she doesn't say anything to Scott because, fuck Scott. Hold up, I got my tag out. But she's like, Sin, I didn't mean to hurt you. Don't, Anna, Sin cut her off. Just fucking spare me, okay? And Sin walks out. And, okay, obviously, there is a point we are getting somewhere with this. But I don't love Sin's reaction here being like, save it. Because what Sin actually ends up being mad about is that Anna didn't tell her that the two of them are supposed to be this close, and she didn't tell her she had a crush on her boyfriend. Even before she was her boyfriend, they both had crushes on him. And she never shared that with her friend. She feels left out of her friend's life. I mean, her friend jet set it off to LA from Sin's point of view for no reason and has abandoned her. And it's all over a guy. Sam is like, oh my god, Jesus Christ, I'm responsible. Kendall and Parker, after his I love you, go off to go have sex so that he can get some more money. Anna wisps about the big book of how we do things, East Coast Wasp Edition. Anna and Sam share a delightful moment in which Sam is like, I tried to warn you things were gonna get weird. And they're like, man, I wish I could go back. And they're like, go back to where? Like the desert. Go back to Mexico where everything made sense. So Scott goes to find Anna, and I gotta give this book some credit. We finally have a man who's not obscenely obsessed with Anna. Scott pulls her to the side and is like, it kind of seems like he might be confessing something, or, maybe he could be interested to her. And he just straight up is like, I have never been attracted to you, and I will never be attracted to a girl like you, ever. Look, Scott, I cannot deny what I said, but I would never, and I'm not... I have to admit, hearing you say what you said was hot, Scott confided in Anna. An easy grin spread across his face, and I had no idea what to respond. Hot was not what she had been going for. She gulped. The truth was, she had no idea what she'd been going for when she was hypnotized. The truth is, I'm just not all that attracted to you. I'm gonna plug my phone in. Because that's... I would really prefer not to lose my home. Truth is I'm not all that attracted to you. Anna felt the color rush to her face. You what? Scott hit the poker video button again. Again, I flirted with you a little at the pool. No big thing, right? I hope you know it didn't mean anything, Scott continued, hitting the button on to get a new card. It just came up. It came up an ace. Full house. There's no injustice. But I know what's happening. Right. Anna nodded, lying through her teeth. She hadn't known it, but she'd felt pretty confident it had been more than just a little flirt. I never opposed to harmless flirting, Scott added with a rueful shrug. As long as both people know what's going on. And I'm a writer, or at least I want to be. Writers need to have experiences. So sometimes I'll do things that, not because I want to, but because I need the experience or want the experience. You know what I mean? So he just used Anna. And Anna's like, bitch, this is stupid, and you're stupid as shit. I mean, I admit that I'm kind of curious about you, or I've gotten curious about you. You seem so much more laid back than you seemed in New York. Whatever the opposite of a man-eater is, Scott is for women. He just collects these beautiful, vibrant women who are interesting, and he sucks all the life out of them. You know what? You just taught me something, Scott. Yeah? What's that? It's possible to be attracted to a guy who doesn't care about anyone else's feelings but his own, and who you thought was a lot cooler than he is. Scott put his hand to his heart. A little harmless flirting, and she says I don't care about her feelings. I bet you're used to guys being all over you, right? If you're interested, they're interested. Right. Wrong, she lied. That isn't the issue. Not that it matters anymore. Are we done? Without warning, waiting for an answer, Anna walked away. Her hands felt clammy. I've had nothing but a muffin and a beer. Her hands felt clammy and her breathing was shallow. Most of all, she was angry at herself. Angry for letting herself be taken in by her own illusions of a guy instead of the guy himself. But right now, that didn't matter. So Cammy's at the Redwood and waiting to feel things, and they kind of talk about the whole, you're trying to the other guys. But that's not really the thing that upsets Cammy. It's like she's so ill in him and he's not ill on her, and that sucks. She knew that she was a total hypocrite because she was attracted to other guys too. Half the time she pulled Adam closer and half the time she pushed him away. God, she was just so fucked up. Every once in a while she wondered where that had come from. It wasn't from her mother. Everyone that she'd ever talked to about her mom had said how she was one of the most truly good spirits on the planet. It wasn't from her father either. He was different from her. Certainly a philanderer, but always clear about where he stood. If Clark Shepard was with you, whether you were his client or his lover, he was with you. It wasn't watch out. He didn't have the If he wasn't watch out, he didn't have the ambivalent thing that Cammy knew was as much a part of her makeup as MAC lipstick. Of lip gloss. Yeah, that's fine, whatever. One day, maybe she'd drop 15 or 20,000 on therapy and see if she could get to the roots of it. On the other hand, Sam had Dr. Fred on retainer, and look at what good she had done. Someone's approaching. It's Adam. They're talking. Of course she was. Plus Anna knew, because Cammy knew, that he had heard her say that thing about the nice guys bored her. She did not intend to let Adam get the upper hand here. She knew how difficult this would be, since she was used to appearing as if she had it all together. Perfect on the outside made her strong. Perfect on the outside struck fear in the hearts of others. But nothing about her waterlogged, red-nosed makeup streak. Her facade had slipped badly. No one was afraid of her. I was afraid. A little old me. Well, you should be. Adam's like, I'm attracted to a lot of girls. That doesn't mean anything. And he's like, hey, you know what? Let's leave all this around. Why did you come to see Brock? Brock... Oh my god, did he move the stuff inside? Holy shit. The answer is no. Alright. Brock knew my mother. His parents were on the yacht the night my mom died. Wow. Drowned. She felt Adam's strong hand begin to rub her back very gently. It felt good. I always wanted to ask him if he knew anything about what really happened that night. Did he? He did. You want to talk about it? It isn't pretty. He said that at the time my mom died, his father was screwing her. Not at the exact time, but that they were having an affair, Cammy said bluntly. You think it's true? Nope. I think it's horseshit. I remember my mother. She wouldn't screw around. Maybe my father would do that. Hell, definitely my father would do that, Cammy frowned. But he doesn't know anything. But why would he? We were just kids. Cammy felt Adam's arm tight around her shoulder. This must be very frustrating for you. No shit. Can I be honest with you? Seems like the night for it. I'm sure you were sleeping with him. Brock. I thought about it, that's true, but we didn't. And that's also the truth. She saw Adam sag with relief. I can tell you're being honest. Not completely. I thought about it a lot. What would you have done if I had? They go back and forth. She's kind of trying to like muddy the water with the whole flirt talk about cheating and stuff. But really he's like, yo, your mom died and I did not realize that had affected you so deeply. I'm gonna help you. With what? with finding out what happened to your mom. So that you'll know. There's a lot that I can do, that we can do, especially if we work together. Aww, aww, aww. And so that sets up the next 3 books of Cammy's arc. 3-ish. All the leaves are brown, and the leaves are brown, and the leaves are brown. All the leaves are brown, all the leaves are brown, and the leaves are brown. So Anna finally goes and finds Sin. God, this is heaven, Sin whispered. She'd spread out on the upper deck. I'm going to stay here until I melt away like the Wicked Witch of the West. Except I'm the Wicked Witch, Anna challenged. She backed up against the far wall and drew her knees to her chest. I want to apologize. I can't fucking believe you, Anna. She winced. I'm sorry, Sin. Please, Sin snorted. She twisted her head from side to side like she was trying to loosen a giant knot. Anna felt the sudden ache of unbidden tears in the back of her throat. You're my best friend in the world, and I would never go after your guy. You think that's why I'm pissed, isn't it? No, you idiot, Sin bolted upright. I'm pissed because you're my best friend in the world, and you never told me how you felt about Scott. Wait, you're not mad that I wanted to screw him? Senseless from the first time that you saw him? Sin filled in. Why the hell would that make me mad? The boy's hot. I saw one of my mother's bitchy friends try to slip him her phone number at the school play last year, and we did Oedipus Rex. So here's what Sin hopped down and sat next to Anna. All those times I went on and on about me and Scott, our first kiss, our first this, and our first that. All the time you pretended to be happy for me, but inside you were going nuts. Yeah. So if I'm your best friend, blah, 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 why couldn't you trust me enough to tell me that? Why indeed? Anna reached for the wooden pitcher of water and poured a little on the rocks. Steam rose to the ceiling. She inhaled deeply, her muscles relaxing. It was hard to stay tense in a redwood sauna. What was I supposed to say, Sin? I want your guy? Sure, why the hell not? Because I couldn't. You're too important to me. God, it's been so long since I've had a bona fide rain video with good sound. Not important enough for you to tell me the truth? I don't know how I should have handled it, Anna finally admitted. I mean, I know you're in love with him. No. What? But you're not? I thought I was for a while there. Probably I was, seduced by a man of letters and all that. Plus he's smart and very cool. Not to mention incredibly fine. I was really intense there for a while, especially right when he left for California. But I have to say it hasn't lasted. I think Scott and I are played out. In fact, I know we are. I need to tell him that. Flat out tell him, hold the mayo, no onions. You know, why don't you let Mike go absolutely sicko mode on it? Anna was cautious. Maybe you're just in a slump and you work it out. No? Seriously? If you want him, go for it. This reeks of irony, Sin. Meaning? Well, Scott told me he's not really attracted to me. Sin took a beat before she burst out laughing. Then Anna started laughing too. In great pearls, the way they used to laugh when they'd roll in the autumn leaves near Gracie Mansion in Manhattan. You know what? Anna asked. I don't care. I mean, my ego's a little bruised, I suppose. I remember how I used to see him in front of school reading The Onion. It was like a young Jack Kiersack. I used to dream about him, but lusting after him and wanting him all this time are two different things. Totally. Then they talk about Ben, and Sin's like, you should be with him. You like that. And you want him. Go to Princeton, jump his bones. Sin effectively says, kill the little version of your mom inside your head. Kill the cop within your mind, ACAB. Yes, but I think it's well-established fact that I am not you, and you've always been audacious, and I've always been not. That Jane Cabot Percy part of you needs to be squashed like a nest of cockroaches in the butler's pantry. My mother would die hearing that analogy. That's my point, Anna. You're not Jane. Filming Space Center. I'm getting better, really, Anna sighed. I called Ben, inviting him to Vegas, and I got a voice message. I got his voicemail and left a message. He hasn't even returned my call. So it's not meant to be. So you should go and move on with your life. Sure. Anna stood thinking about Ben. He was definitely a hottie, but she also felt some special connection between the two of them. It wasn't that she wasn't going to do what she used to do in elementary school when it came to boys, write her name in her spelling notebook as Miss Anna Cabot Percy Bierenbaugh. Sometimes, though, she thought she might come close. He's more than a hot guy, Ben. And so it turns out Scott isn't. I'm not looking for more than hot and temporary anymore. Not for a while, anyway. On to the next, Anna agreed. Even though her heart was saying, back to Ben. But Sin was right. It probably wasn't meant to be. Pinky swear? Like when we had friendship rings from Tiffany that our mothers got us? Definitely. And we'll swear to honesty. They touched pinkies and laughed, then headed for the showers. As the hot water needled down on her, Anna thought how glad she was that the night hadn't hurt their friendship in any significant way, and how right Sin was about honesty. Without honesty, you couldn't love, and you couldn't have a friendship. Friendship meant everything to her, maybe even more than love did. Ben might have been different, but it seemed like guys came and went, but true friends, especially true girlfriends, endured. It was that lesson that she was supposed to learn from the amazing adventure in Las Vegas, and she was very glad that she had come. Yay! The plot being spelled out for us. I love it. I love this song. So they come back to their bed, their hotel room, and Sin and Scott go up to the room claiming exhaustion, and Parker is with Kendall. Maybe. Actually, Parker maybe is with Kendall, but no, he came up alone. Sam goes up to the bar and finds Parker, who was staring into a tall glass of what looked like gin and tonic. Hey! She slid onto the bar stool, and a beefy bartender with a bald head and a soul patch asked what she wanted to drink. She considered a dried Tanqueray martini on the rocks with a twist of lemon, but opted for a Campari instead. And get my friend here a refill. He looks like he needs it. Parker's like, go away, I don't want it. And what part of go away don't you understand? The part where you declared your devotion to a new love in your life and ended up sitting here alone at the bar. She left right after we got here. Her father called, screaming at her. She's on a plane back to Texas, even as we speak. That sucks. You can go visit her and, geez, Sam, I don't have it like that. I don't even like that chick. Her brain tried to process the information. Parker didn't like Kendall, but he'd been hypnotized. He'd said how he was into her inner beauty or something, or some such bullshit. Either he had been really into her for a short period of time, or, holy shit, you son of a bitch, you fucking scammed the hypnotist. Parker looked at her balefully. God damn, you were acting. She was impressed, not with herself because she had figured it out, but with Parker because she had never even thought he'd even had any talent. Jesus Christ, Parker, you're good. Tell that to everyone. He's like, I ain't got no money. And she's like, what? You're acting again. He's like, no. Sam could hardly bring herself to say it. Low on cash? I'm broke, Parker replied through clenched teeth. As in poor, as in pretending to have money like all the rest of you, as in low rent. He ran his hand through his hair. I hit on Kendall so she'd pick up my hotel tab, but she split. If you don't get your ass out of here, I'm gonna lose out on that chick at the other end of the bar, too. For once in her life, Sam was speechless. She had no idea how to deal with this. It wasn't like she was Miss Sensitivity. The truth was she had spent most of her time thinking about herself, her problems, not other people's difficulties. I can pay your hotel bills, she offered awkwardly. I don't really want to have this conversation if it's all the same to you. Well, it's not, so I want you to know. I don't care what you want me to know. I didn't steal your family's fortune, bucko. So, I don't care that you don't have money, Parker. That's not why we're friends. Who's acting now? Okay, you're right, she admitted. All my friends are rich, well, except you, evidently. Bingo. Okay, so I'll leave you to whatever, Sam muttered. I won't tell anyone. She got off the bar stool. Parker's facade slipped. He looked about 12 years old. He quickly covered a cool veneer, closing down a hint of need that he had needed, and he leaned over and kissed Sam's cheek. Thanks. You're welcome. He kissed her again, and this time lightly and sweetly on the lips. I have a boyfriend. For now. Parker's grin spread across his famous megawatt smile, and he moved down the bar towards the blonde. Who'd have thunk? Parker Pinelli had guts. Evidently, he also lived off rich girlfriends. But his guts, at least, Sam had to admire. Now, I must say, I am a Sam and Parker truther. I will get further into this in my big video, which I am scripting, but I am a Sam and Parker truther. I don't know, I kind of love two shisty little bitches together. Oh my god, I love Parker as a character. Him just like doing anything. He'll do it for the plot. He's great for plot momentum. If you need some shit to happen, get Parker involved. Which is what Monty was supposed to do before they blipped him right the fuck out of the plot. Right the fuck out. Right the fuck out of the plot. So Sam goes back upstairs to find Anna. They're like, oh shit, we gotta go find Dee. They really do not want to do this. They're kind of bitchy about it. I already knew that. Yeah, Sam's eyebrows rose and she opened her pocketbook to dig for the key to their room as they approached the wooden door to their suite. Well, I didn't. Wait, Anna put her hand on Sam's arm. We were gonna check on Dee. Remember? Please, I'm so tired. I'm about to pass out. I'm sure she's asleep. Why wake her? Let's just knock softly and see what happens. I'm tired of being Oprah, especially at 5 in the morning. Still, Sam dutifully trudged after Anna down the hallway to Dee's suite and waited patiently as Anna knocked on the large white door. No answer. Anna knocked louder. Dee slept through the Northbridge earthquake, Sam reminded her. She'll never hear you. Let me call her cell. But before she could ring, her own cell rang. Yeah? Samantha's sharp and unfamiliar voice. You're speaking. This is Nurse Marina Hernandez, Clark County Hospital. Your friend Dee Young gave us permission for us to telephone you. We've got her here in your psych unit. Huh? Huh? Thorazine. We got a 24-hour hold. 24-hour hold. 24-hour hold. 24-hour hold. Oh my god. So, Dee has a little freak out. We heard, we saw. Dee has a little freak out and ends up trampsing through the hotel and the streets of Las Vegas in the booth, and thus she is institutionalized for her own safety. They round up the girls and they go over to the hospital, in which they find out that Dee was whimpering and muttering about one ruby hummingbird sharp. They ask when they can get her home, and they said tomorrow at the earliest, but she might not be let out. However, Dee is 18, so they will get her out in time. They decide that the nurse, after being round down and being the biggest Jackson Sharp fan in the world, that they are finally going to let... Not finally, that they are going to let 2 girls go and see Dee. It is not even a discussion, as it is going to be Cammie and Sam. 2 of you, that's all. And only because I'm the biggest Jackson Sharp fan in the world. If she is a little out of it, it's because we gave her a shot of Thorazine a couple of hours ago. Down the hall, last door, room on the right. 13B, 10 minutes. Thank you, Sam told her, and then wasting not a moment, she yanked Cammie down the hall. There was no conversation about which 2 of them would go. That was obvious. The door was open. Dee was sitting upright in a bed inside a small generic hospital room. White tiled floors, white walls, a minimum of medical equipment. Dee wasn't even hooked up to an IV. Actually, she looked completely normal. Normal makeup, musty blonde hair, her blue eyes round and alert. The only thing out of the ordinary was her blue hospital gown, which eerily matched her eyes. She was watching TV on a set that was somehow suspended from the ceiling near the far wall, an old rerun of Blind Date with no sound. When Cammie and Sam walked in, Dee barely acknowledged them. Her eyes flittered immediately back to the television, as if encountering her friends in the psych ward of a hospital was far from home was the most normal thing on the earth. I'm waiting to hear from her, Dee explained, her eyes still on the television. I have to keep watching, but I'm so sleepy it's hard. From Ruby? Cammie asked. She and Sam stood uncomfortably by the door. Exactly, Dee confirmed, her eyes still on the TV, where a guy with a goatee was blowing cigarette smoke out of his ears to impress his date. Right before they gave me a shot, Ruby told me that she'd communicate with me by television. Cammy shuddered again, but forced herself to stay as conversational as she could. Dee, the sound isn't on. It doesn't matter. We do it telepathically. Her eyes went to half-mast, and then she yawned. I'm tired. Dee stretched out and pulled the blanket up to her chin. Cammy and Sam both carried chairs to her bedside. Sam took one hand, Cammy the other. Dee, can you tell us what happened? I was reading Zohar, and Cammy appeared to me on the page. She told me that the world was coming to an end. Dee confided, her voice low. She said I have to save all the sinners. I really tried. At the Luxor? Sam queried. In your underwear? It wasn't my decision. That's where she told me to go. Cammy and Sam shared a look. This was unbelievable, like something out of a movie. So many times they had joked about needing to get her help. Now it wasn't a joke anymore. You know, now that I think about it, maybe I'm just another big, fat, ugly sinner. That's why no one wants to be with me. Not Poppy, not my parents, not you two either. That's not true, Dee, Cammy insisted quickly, except it really was true. Even when Dee was craziness had been milder, Cammy had gone out of her way to avoid her. Dee closed her eyes. Remember how happy the three of us used to be? You'll be happy again, Sam promised. I swear it. It'd just be the way it used to be. The Three Musketeers, remember? Maybe. They gave me this pill to try to get me to tell them where Ruby is. It made my head all fuzzy. Did they give you one? Cammy saw Sam surreptitiously wipe a tear away. She hoped Dee was too out of it to notice. She reached over the bed rail and squeezed her friend's hand, wondering all the while whether there was anything she could have done that would have helped head off this moment here in Clark County Hospital. I suck. I'm so sorry. It's okay, Dee said softly. This isn't your fault. No, it is, Sam insisted, her voice cracking. You needed help. Big time. And you needed me to tell you that. But I was too involved in my own stupid problems to see that. Actually, Sam, she needed me too. Cammy, the fact is she's living with me and my family. So, Jesus Christ. So sad. But I want to go home, Dee said, bewildered. Can't we just walk home? Dee, we're in Las Vegas, remember? Home is Los Angeles. We're 250 miles away. You have to stay here now. But not for long, Sam assured her. I can't come with you? Dee swallowed hard. That's what you guys always say. That's fucked up. Cammy leaned over her friend to hug her, and then held her tight. No, we fucked up. Her eyes met Sam's over Dee's frail, bird-like shoulders and waited for Sam to say something. But for once, her oldest friend was rendered speechless. I want to be sedated! So, next morning, okay, in what is the craziest turn of events, and I don't really care to get into the end of this book in any real substantial way, because I think that that is the big thing. Like, showdown at the hypnotist happens. Dee is now put in a hospital, and then they finally the next morning are able to get her out because, again, she's 18, so she's able to sign herself out. They are going to take her back to LA. And then Ben shows up. Like, why would a man be here? This is not a story about friendship. But we must tie in our final leg. Start of our final leg of this fuck-ass journey. Why would a man be there? I have tabs for it, and they have a couple of conversations, but I will inform you of anything you need to know. Don't worry. Don't worry, Mom will take care of you. So, they get her, and so Anna is saying goodbye to Sin, and those two are well together. I'm so glad about the power of female friendships. Why would a man be there? They're like, we're gonna finish up the thesis of the Sin storyline, and then we'll get the fuck out of here. No, Miss Manners, you didn't. Come on. How could you know your friend was going to short circuit? It's not that. It's Scott. She turned away and went to the maroon paisley sofa where she flopped down and swung her legs up over the back, the same way Anna had seen her do since they were in 5th grade. I guess I thought coming here would change something between him and me, but it didn't. So you're over? Anna settled down on the couch next to Sin and threw a comforting arm around her friend. We've been over for a while. It just takes a while to really get there and say it. Anyway, the whole relationship thing is highly overrated. Seriously, I mean it. What is the point? Love? I love you more than I'm ever going to love any guy. And like we used to say in 6th grade, not no gay way, and sin mutually recited. Exactly. But the whole you have to be true to me, blah, 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 it never works out. I guess if you're like 30 and you want to breed, it makes sense. Which, by the way, is the disgusting thought. Being 30 or breeding? Both. Anna loops some hair behind her ear. It seems like the relationship thing isn't quite working out for me either. She wisps about whatchamacallit, about Ben. One more adventure for the Sin and Anna Chronicles. Anna noted, and giving her friend another squeeze. I hate saying goodbye to you. Please. Sin scoffs, stepping back from her friend. It's never goodbye for us, and it never will be, right? Oh, fuck. I love that. Absolutely, Anna assured her. At a moment that was all about honesty, that was nothing but the truth. So, as they're waiting to leave, Anna turned to take one last look at the palms. She could certainly follow those under new experiences. And after all that she had been what she'd wanted. Of course, she hadn't planned on Steve's break with reality. Who knew who the real Dee was? She saw the taxi pull up to the hotel entrance. Anna's heart flipped, leapt, somersaulted, and then somersaulted again as the limo began turning right onto Flamingo Road. Stop! She bellowed. Stop the limo! The driver slammed on the brakes. Everyone jerked forward. What the hell, Anna? Kennedy demanded, but Anna was already out the door, running back to the entrance of the Palm. Ben turned and saw her. So, we got 10 pages of Anna and Ben getting back together. That's what's happening. He's like done with school for the season because it's like April or whatever. Or he's gonna come back, and once he comes back west, it's gonna be together. They talk. I thought you'd surprise you. I don't know. I hate talking on the phone about anything serious. Why did everyone leave? Oh my god, Dee's having a mental health crisis? That's crazy. You wanna fuck about it? And effectively, yes. They go back to the hotel. She's like, oh my god, we wanna fuck about it? And she's like, I don't know. She's like, I didn't invite you here for sex. I invited you here to get to know you. And effectively, the only thing of note that I think is said here is that Ben is like, I want to be true to you. And it's all about honesty. And I'm sorry about not being honest about you with my dad, which is correct, because why would she have a reason to believe that he's going to be honest? The entirety of this is a whole bunch of lies and craziness. But he informs her that he slept with this girl that he kind of had like an on and off again friendship, lust with back at Princeton. And that woman's name is Blythe. Get ready for the cloud. Get ready for Hurricane Blythe, my guys. Get ready. Get ready. These books are for 15 and up. I've never seen this before. And that is so important. I'm so mad about that. Goddamn. Whatever. Finally fucking done with this book. I'm gonna make dinner. Dinner tonight. Me. Something new is coming from me by the end of the summer, I hope. This video should be coming out in July, so let me try. Get ready for a community post from me about it. But that fucking book is done, and so next up is Some Like It Hot, and I'm halfway through annotating it. I literally ran out of tabs because the other tabs were still in this book. So expect that hopefully soon. You'll see this in you'll see this books video in August. Oh my god, beer. I have a lot of feelings because I've been really thinking about my time with these books, And there were times in the beginning where I could not defend these books. But I'm not at that point anymore. I laid down my life for schlocky, shitty teen books. And you know what helped me get there? Watching the teen dramas, the like TV show dramas that were coming out at that time. Not really with Dawson's Creek. That did not help shit for dicks. That is kind of a terrible show. But I've been watching One Tree Hill. Yeah. One Tree Hill is, I think, once I finally watch the OC, I think I will understand. I think something fundamental will change inside of everything. But even just watching One Tree Hill and seeing how normal teen problems dramatized in that way, everything makes sense. Everything, I understand the concept now. Yeah, I don't know. But we're done with this book for once. And that also means that we are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we are over halfway done with the series now. Lord above, we can finally, I will have the series done by the end of the year. Try my best, gang. I'm trying my best. Alright, birds. My pretty doves. My beautiful birds. I'm gonna go make pasta. Bye, guys. You can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at Megan_Blush_. And I'm just around. Check the link in the description. I'll be around arguing, chit-chatting, hyping up, thinking about dolls. You'll see more TV content from me hopefully soon. And hopefully my hair will be less flat. This is a very conservative hair look for me, and I don't know if I fucks with it.